Hello everyone and welcome to our 7th series of the Alvari Cup. I'm your host Kiraha, or Alex, community manager from Unfrozen here, and it's going to be a great series ahead between Beastyqt and Kubon. Both of them very known streamers, very big streamers actually, and it's going to be really exciting to see them duke it out here on Outcast Tournament, as it is going to be our first game of the day. Hello, First Dragon Lord. First time poking my head into one of these streams. Very nice to have you and welcome everyone. I hope you all will have a great day, and I hope we're gonna see a great series coming up, because I think both of the opponents are actually, again, pretty evenly matched. I think Beasty might be a little bit favored because he did play a lot lately, and I believe he was higher in the ladder as well. But Kubon is definitely up there as well, so I'm hoping they're gonna put up a very good fight, and we'll see. Hello, Efreet as well. Hope you'll have a great cup. Hope we'll have a great series ahead indeed. Very nice to have you. A little bit about the tournament. This is our 7th series now. We invited 16 participants here, some of the best players on the ladder from the European scene. And we had 6 series wrapping up already. Today we have the 7th one, and on Sunday this week we will have our last series of the 1 out of 16 bracket, going into the quarterfinals actually. Yes, it's gonna be a pretty exciting series to have, and we'll see whoever is gonna get further and further there. So today we're having the first game on Outcast Tournament. As I said, they are playing a format between ban and pick, so they're gonna pick their factions first, and whichever faction and template that is getting played will be banned for the rest of the series. We're starting with Outcast Tournament, and the match between Beastyqt playing, I believe, Schism, and Kubon here playing Necropolis. So some of the top factions being picked, as we've seen throughout the tournament already quite often, which is a very interesting matchup, I think, because it's not that uneven matched. So having 2 factions that are quite balanced together, and yeah, it's going to be a great one. So very exciting. Other than that, how far into the tournament is this match? This is our 7th series of the 1/16th bracket, as I said, so there's going to be 1 more, and then we will only have 8 players remaining that will start fighting each other down to the last 4 there, basically, soon. And that is going to start, I believe, probably around next weekend. This weekend we're basically concluding the first phase of the tournament, so the next series will be between Zymian and Ronyu, who are the last 2 opponents to play in this phase of the tournament right now. Other than that, let's go through the sponsors very quickly, as we still have a little bit of time left. We have none other than Ubisoft, who sponsored the tournament with our prize pool here, all over 5,000 euros, including some of the items here from Gamebook and Dark Horse Gaming. Very nice to see them so implicated and supporting us, of course. Much thanks, and we're very grateful to them. And none other than CD Action as our media patrons, supporting us for almost over 2 years now, actually. So very glad to have everyone on board, and very exciting to see this tournament being organized so well with them. So the participants, these were all of the participants invited to the first series, and you can also check the bracket of the tournament, including all of the games that are happening, at this site that I will post in the chat here in a moment. That's gonna have all of the series being played, as well as the time for them, and all of the scores so far from the tournament itself. So other than that, let's go see how the players are doing. I believe that they already started setting up the game. As we see here, Beastyqt made a lobby, and Kubon already joined, so they're waiting for us casters to give them the ready, which will be in a couple of minutes. And yeah, I think that we are almost ready to start here. I believe both of the opponents are ready to go as well. So in just a couple of minutes, we're going to start the best of 3. There's going to be 3 tournament templates being played on. The first one being Outcast Tournament, which was picked by Beasty as the second pick here. And then we will have either Hailtide or Exodus being the second and the third template that will be played to conclude this best of 3 if it ever gets to the 1-1 scenario where they will have to play a third game. The first factions, as we saw before, will be Schism for Beastyqt and Necropolis for Kubon. And once those are played, they will not be able to pick these throughout the rest of the series today. Outside of that, I'm very excited to see what the players will come up with. We've actually seen a great series last time on Friday when I casted, and we've seen Black Fire Ice picking. He went with Grove on Exodus, and he showcased an absolutely insane first game there, basically being able to win the first 2 final fights without even going into the desert at all, which is something that we've almost never seen before. And that was a fantastic game played by Black Fire Ice, who sadly didn't actually end up winning the tournament because, well, his opponent just did better in the second and third game, and he ended up losing on Hailtide in the third game there in a pretty close game actually still. But I'm obviously hoping for a very similar series today. Let's see those third games happening, and let's see if anyone is actually going to pick Hailtide a little bit earlier. I'm actually quite curious that most of the opponents are preferring to leave Hailtide for the last, even though it's probably one of the least I would like to say well performed by factions there. I guess the factions are not that relevant on this template, so it's one of the least reliant on factions rather than a little bit of RNG. So even the weaker factions or even the weaker players could potentially grab a win on Hailtide on this second game. So we're gonna see some interesting decisions here coming from the players very shortly. It's also important to note that they're playing on Outcast Tournament, which was fixed in the last patch. So they no longer need a fixed version of the template Outcast Tournament that we had previously. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they're doing on this new template, because I do think that there was some very slight Pandora boxes balancing there as well. So let's see it happen, and let's see what the opponents are able to do. We'll give the players the ready check very soon. And I believe they will be starting in a few seconds here. So, good luck, have fun to the both opponents. May the best player win, and may we see an absolute banger of a series here coming up that will blow our minds, I hope, and showcase some really nice strategies and maybe even some new ones that we've never seen before. It's still a game that is very early on, so players could find a way here that we really haven't seen. So I hope Beastyqt wins this. I do think that Beastyqt is probably the favored one here because he has a little bit more experience when it comes to the tournament, and he's been playing a lot of Olden Era off stream. I mean, he's an Age of Empires streamer right now, right? I think he's streaming a lot of Age of Empires 4, but even if in his off hours he's been streaming a lot of Olden Era, so I expect some really stable games from him at the very least. Maybe not some crazy strategies or anything like that, but I definitely think he's gonna have some pretty stable gameplay here. And we see a Tolkef being picked here by Beastyqt immediately, so he's definitely made his homework a little bit, and he knows what he wants already. So let's see what his opponent is going to go for, as I only see Beasties right now. Let's put Kubon as well, who is considering his picks here for quite some time. And I think that the Laura pickup there was actually just timed out one, so maybe he was still considering moving to a different hero. Alright, as we mentioned before, there are 2 resets for each player. They can restart the game twice. If they choose to, they can do it on day 2. So the 2 points of a reset can count as 1 point of a reset on 1-1-2 instead of 1-1-1 here. being the month 1, week 1, day 1. And basically they will have to just go around the map right now, see if they can find anything relevant to get them started in the series. And if they don't, or if maybe they try to take some risks here into a Pandora box early on, that means that they will simply reset the game if the outcome isn't one that is favorable for them. So that is exactly what the players are doing right now. They are looking around, they're trying to find the best strategy here going forward. And we see already Kubon going for the upgraded skeletons from the second town immediately. So he did see a box here on the locusts right next to his town, which means that he is going to have a fair bit of tempo going into this game already. So that is going to be probably a keep coming from Kubon here immediately if he can do this box fight in a manner where he does not lose a lot of army. Surprised BC really likes Queenry. We've actually seen a lot of Queenry gameplay, to be honest, throughout the game so far. So it's interesting to see some of these newer pickups here. And looks like Beasty is also doing a Pandora box here on the first day. But he does not have a lot of army with the Storkef right now. This is the power of Queenry. It starts with so much more army early on that will then allow you to do these fights without much losses. So not having that is going to be a bit detrimental to him right now. Did this fight pretty easily so far, I would say. He is using his 1-stacks to grab a little bit more focus charges here in order to get some of these heroic strikes going as well. And by the looks of it, this fight is gonna be done fairly easily here in the end. So not a bad fight here at all by Beasty. He does get another morale, which can be a bit bad right now for him, but I think overall he should be okay to pretty much do this without much losses at all. So he will lose the 1-stack, but now he can get 2 shots in, and yeah, pretty much perfect result here for Beastyqt. Basically doing this fight, only losing some 1-stacks, and he will get maybe defense here, but he did not consider it yet. He will get a cultist box immediately into the game, which is absolutely fantastic for him actually. That was a tier 2 box that he did for free, and now he has a really solid power stack to play with, and that's going to be very interesting to see him tempo into the game here. Meanwhile, on the side of Kubon, looks like he did do the box fight pretty well as well, actually. He did only lose 4 whites here. Did get a skeleton box by the looks of it. That was not whites, which is a bit unfortunate for him, because I do think that the whites early on are usually a little bit more preferred, but still, I mean, fantastic start here from Kubon as well, because he does have a lot of skeletons now. It's going to make his life a lot easier considering these are ranged units. And that basically means that both of the opponents have a really solid tempo going into game 1 here without even resetting the template at all so far. That is a very nice generation coming from both of them right now. Now, Laura is the surprise. She is underrated. We'll see what he can do with her. I mean, if he can make something happen, I definitely think that she could be a good pick still. Ooh. We actually see a very early insight being picked by Kubon here, who is also going for the pile of books, which means his hero is going to have a very fast level up here. And he does see another 2 boxes that he can do right now, which is absolutely a fantastic start. I gotta say, for Kubon, this is an amazing biome for him to see 3 of the early boxes here immediately into the game. Meanwhile, looks like it is day 2, so Beasty did keep as well. Both of the opponents kept so far. And it looks like we could potentially have a day 2 reset coming in here if one of them dies in a box, but Beastyqt finding 2 more Pandora boxes for himself right now. He's utilizing the tactics phase here, trying to do the fight as well as he can and position some of the units in a way where he can maybe kite some of the stacks back here. This is not going to be an easy fight. The AI basically said impossible battle, a 4-star here, and it is a lot of units that he has to deal with. Remember, he only has the cultist power stack. This is not a queenery here, so you don't really have that many rush shots early on, so he's not going to have this great range power stack here to do the fights with, which means he mostly needs to take things into melee range And that can be a very difficult task here for him. Meanwhile, Kubon looks like he did the Phone Warriors, and he grabbed another skeleton box here. So Kubon all of a sudden has 200 skeleton archers coming up on day 2 here on Outcast Tournament, and it looks like a fantastic game for him. He gets a knowledge level up. He has a lot of experience here. He even finds another box on the Cavaliers, but I think this might be a little bit too greedy if he goes for it right now, because he is not that strong yet still, and he's considering picking offense here, which is a very good pickup for Laura, as she is a mage, so the offense level ups are actually much more difficult to get than they normally would be on a warrior hero. And it looks like he's just gonna go around the biome a little bit, trying to find as much content as he can. And he just found a tome? Wait, was that a tome? I only saw it for a brief moment. But that was indeed a Nightshade tome coming from a tomb. That is a fantastic pickup for him. Wow. Okay, wait, that could be game changing, but Beastyqt ends up resetting the map, and wow, that is quite unfortunate, I gotta say, for Kubon. I think he was feeling fantastic in this game so far with a Nightshade tome and more than 3 boxes immediately into the game there. Alright, very important to note here now that Beasty will no longer have any resets, as he did day 2 reset the last map, which means what we see right now is what we'll play, and he needs to be very careful taking some of these riskier fights, because he could end up losing a lot of army here that he might not want to lose. But he does have a peasant fight here. It's one of the easiest probably to do when you have shooters, because you can pop the berserk on them pretty early on. So I think he's quite happy with this, as this will most likely be a Rashot box, which means all of a sudden we have a scenario where this is basically a queenry for him. So let's see what exactly he's going to be able to do here. And yeah, this is a pretty good start, I gotta say, for Beasty, if he can do this box without losing too many units. But he does get reset on, because as we mentioned before, Kubon still has 2 resets, as he was not the one that resetted on day 2. We see a box immediately for Beasty here, a pretty easy box I might say as well, so he's probably gonna try to do that on day 1. And it looks like he's looking around already. He definitely sees some tempo on this map, which is very good for him. He has a swordsman box on top of the castle here as well, so a pretty good start coming from Beasty on the second map that they're resetting right now. Meanwhile, Kubon is looking to get his +2 knowledge tower here. He gets a little bit more experience. He's gonna go for a necromancy here pickup, and looks like he does have a pretty decent start in terms of boxes right around his towns here, because he does already see 2 very immediate boxes and a lot of experience around his second town here. So he's gonna be able to have a fairly leveled Laura with 7 knowledge immediately into the game. And yeah, a lot of army coming up here. He's going for the upgraded skeleton archers as well. He's grabbing the +3 luck. It's gonna be really good. He even has a well here. That is fantastic news for him. And let's see what he's gonna be able to do here. He's definitely gonna have a lot of level ups. He's considering Nightshade right now, or defense maybe, both of them being pretty good pickups for a necromancer here. So I can join. What are your casting mates? I mean, I'm all alone. It's okay. I need more friends. No, but in all fairness, it's summer. Everyone's busy. Everyone's, on vacation and stuff. So it's understandable. Maybe we'll see some more casting friends after this phase of the tournament ends and is concluded. Right, looks like he is looking around right now. He did find a phone box, but the phone boxes can be very difficult to do. They do have parry. They will hit really hard on these ranged units. So when it comes to doing a phone box for a tier 1 box, they might not always be worthy. And I think, honestly, if I was in Kubon's shoes here, I would probably try to reset this map because it doesn't seem that rewarding to him, to be honest. I mean, he has a lot of level ups, which is good, but if you lose more army trying to do these boxes than you gain from them, it's not really worth as much to begin with. As a casual player, this is very strange to watch, splitting the stacks to fill the remaining slots, something I never did before. Yeah, a lot of the players are using one stacks basically in order to either try and get themselves a little bit more focus charges with shooter stacks, or maybe trying to get these one stacks that can take a retaliation so that they can hit with their power stacks instead of getting retaliated upon. And it looks like Kubon actually keeps this map, so it seems that he does think that a tier 1 box there is gonna be worth for him. And we see Beasty actually being quite happy about this, because he did go for the Locust box and it was Cultists again. So all of a sudden, Beasty's gonna have a Rashot box here with a Cultist box on day 1, and he has a fantastic tempo to go with, honestly. So that the one stacks can take the full hit, meaning you only lose 1 unit instead of more if you stack them all. Yeah. Does look like he's losing a couple of rush shots here, which won't be ideal for him, but probably around -10 rush shots for the rush shot box, which is gonna be a bit painful here, but I think he will be quite okay with the result. I mean, he's gonna still get 35 rush shots here, and I think he's gonna be pretty happy with the tempo that he has in the game right now. So looks like he's doing the fight pretty well. He gets a level up here too. He does have logistics. He's getting the expert communion, I think, first, and it looks like Kubon did reset. So he was waiting for Beasty to see if he's doing a lot of fights, I suppose. And yeah, we see a reset coming up from Kubon. So right now, we no longer have any kind of resets. And this is the map that they're going to play. So let's see what the opponents can find around their maps right now. That was unlucky for Beasty. Yeah, getting morale there is a little bit unlucky, but he was doing the fights pretty well still. I think he was quite happy with the biome that he had. He's looking right now because I think he has a lot of experience on this left side of the town, and he's quite interested in getting 2 or maybe even 3 level ups here immediately. Then he could potentially go for the second town. He can grab all of their shots and into the Cultist box there. I mean, this is looking like a fairly decent start for him, and this is exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna pick up these level ups for free here. He's gonna have a very good hero immediately into the game. And with that, I believe Beasty is gonna be quite happy with the start of this biome here. Looks like he even considers going back to town, probably just to have this little bit of extra mana here. And that's exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna go to the second town. He's gonna upgrade the rush shots here. 56 rush shots will be able to clear the most of the biome here pretty easily immediately. And yeah, look at that, easy fight already. So I think Beasty is quite happy with his biome so far. Meanwhile, on the side of Kubon, he is also considering doing some fights here early on. It looks like he did pick up only 1 town worth of army right now, and he's actually gonna go into a pretty difficult fight here to begin with, but I believe that he can probably do this a little bit better and easier than Otto, right? So he should be decently fine. He actually went for expert sorcery immediately, so he already has the magic arrows coming up here, which means that he can technically kite forever with the whites probably, and in that case he should be able to at least survive this fight no matter what. Why resetting the maps or otherwise that part of the tournament? It's pretty simple, because there can be some generations that are really unfavorable towards the opponents, and we would like to give the players the option to be able to restart at least once there. So a little bit of RNG in their life doesn't hurt, you know. Looks like he's taking a pretty big hit on the whites here. He's gonna lose up quite a few whites, and I'm not sure if this is gonna be worth that much for him. is looking like a rather risky fight here coming from Kubon, and honestly I think he was maybe better off going for that second town first, trying to grab the rest of the army, because he is losing almost 15 whites right now, and that is starting to really hurt a little bit, because you want to keep as many whites as possible early on, and this is not what he was hoping here for at all. Hey, Keru. Ooh, he's losing the skeletons as well. Okay, this is starting to be really, really painful here. And I believe that the 20 stack might even reach here. And it does. Ooh. Okay, I gotta say, I don't know if this was worth it, but it definitely was not. Is it a new round of Alvari Cup? They are playing the 7th match right now in the 1/16th of the bracket here. So there's gonna be one more. But this is not what he wanted here at all. I mean, he's probably gonna get whites from this. At least I would assume that is bigger than a tier 1 box, considering the amount of swordsmen here. But he lost basically everything that he had in order to get it, and that's really, really unfortunate for him. What a painful fight. Yeah, I mean, losing all the skeletons here is definitely very, very painful, because you want those skeletons, especially on Laura early on, so... Timer? Oh yeah, both of them are actually out of timer already. They did so many fights. And, I mean, we do see the whites, right? So, as I said before, he is having a strong start with a strong box here, but is that gonna be enough for him right now in order to be able to salvage this game? Because he still lost all the skeletons, and that's not what you want to see usually, so... Does get a lot of mana here. He does have a decent enough army to do some of these tier 1 or tier 2 boxes, but it's gonna be rather rough for him. What resets have been used by now? Yes, we basically see this as the map that will be played. So looks like Beastyqt here is gonna go maybe potentially for this white box, but it is a rather risky one as well. And I'm not sure if he wants to do this right now. I mean, that is not gonna be an easy fight for him either. He does have a Despair Scroll, and he does have... Oh wait, I don't think he has any mana actually, so... Will he risk it all here, trying to go for this white box? And I guess he doesn't. He chooses to skip it, so he wants to be a little bit safe. Looks like he's gonna maybe go for this tier 7 dwelling, which could actually be good enough for him to potentially grab the box afterwards as well. Outcast Tournament? Yes, they're playing on Outcast Tournament right now. So Heroes is competitive now. Read the roadmap, and 2 out of 3 is about competitive play, and only about 1 out of 3 about PvE. I mean, Heroes was always competitive, but the tournament that we're hosting is not made by the developers in a way. It's made by us community managers along with Ubisoft, so it's not like... It's not taking any of the development power in order to do this, let's put it like that. But about the roadmap, I don't think that's exactly true. You have a lot of things in the roadmap that are mostly for PvE only, like, for instance, the alliances and the Iron Man mode, and a lot of the new maps that are coming out. Even, you know, Underground and so on, you can say that it's obviously for PvP as well, but it's mostly for the PvE players, so... Remember not to convert the 7s into tier 1. It is a little bit weaker now, that is for sure, so... This is getting a bit painful here for Beastyqt, though. I mean, he definitely wanted to do this fight a little bit easier, and... It's not that great for him right now. It's gonna... Ooh, it's not enough to actually kill here, so... They will go first, and they might actually have enough to summon another one here, which is going to be really, really painful for him. Looks like they don't summon one, and it does look like he will be able to grab this tier 7, but he did lose a lot of the cultists. And that's not going to be amazing for him, but he does get Expert Thaumaturgy here. He does have potentially enough with a Marketplace to grab this this tier 7 as well. And with that, I mean, he definitely has a decent enough tempo, I would say, going into the game here. So I would like to see him stay in a town right now for mana, or maybe going for the whites here immediately, but looks like he has a different play in mind, and he's gonna go for the sprites for now. This is the kind of fight that costs you the game. I think both of them, at least right now, they're making the correct choices, and it looks like Kubon did actually manage to find a skeleton box that he did almost for free here, and he's going for the Hoplet box as well, which could be another white box. So Kubon, even though he had a rather bad starter, losing almost all of the army for that white box, he did find a way into the game, coming back here on day 3 basically, and it's starting to look better and better for him. Honestly, he has a very good despair right now. He's gonna be able to grab most of these boxes here for free, and afterwards, let's see what he can do. He does have Thaumaturgy as well, does have the Magic Arrow, so it's looking like a very, very strong setup for a mage coming from Kubon almost immediately into the game. The 7 on day 2 is not bad. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Honestly, it's gonna allow him to do a lot more fights that he normally wouldn't be able to, so I definitely think it's a good start for him. Looks like Kubon is doing these fights pretty well himself now, and I mean, almost everything is very easy now because he does have that AoE Despair, and he does also have the Magic Arrows on top of it. So almost all the fights that he can find here are basically gonna be mostly free for him from now on. Ooh, and he gets a dog box actually, and look at this biome so far here for Kubon. He goes from box into box, and he's gonna have a fantastic army. He has 3 more boxes that he can probably pick up on the exact same day here. That is amazing to see for him. Meanwhile, it looks like Beastyqt also has a lot of rush shots all of a sudden, almost 150 rush shots here, along with the tier 7 for him. And it's looking like a pretty good game for him as well. I mean, he has the Expert Thaumaturgy. He is looking to potentially grab one of them, Nightshade Magic or Arcane Magic here, but he chooses to skip them, and he gets another rush shot box. And it looks like he's gonna go into this Reaver box, who's probably gonna be tier 3 or tier 4 even, I would say. Which means we might see a very decent army coming from Beastyqt here as well. Very, very quickly into the game. Both of the opponents are putting up a really great tempo game right now. And it's gonna be interesting to see which one of them will get ahead a little bit here. We've seen some very, very strong Necro games as well, if Necropolis can find those Leech boxes early on, right? So it's all about RNG right now. Whoever will be able to grab their higher tier boxes and straight going into the desert here. Looks like Kubon did find another white box right now, and he's up to 100 whites, has the dogs as well. He's looking right now in order to maybe do these Murmurmancers here, but that is not an easy fight, and there are some Naiads there as well that he cannot really deal with too well. He does have the AoE Despair here, and he's still considering using it because he has a little bit of mana left, but which fight will he go for? Because I don't think he has enough mana to potentially go for both. Looks like he's choosing the dogs, which means that his whites will not be able to vamp here at all. So let's see if he's going to be able to do this fight without losing too much army here. Do Monster Energy, the sponsor of the Alvari Cup? What is the Monster's Energy? He has enough despair. Oh, that these despairs are doing so much work actually. I just looked at the dogs in the back there, and they're almost dead already. So very, very easy fight for him actually in the end. And this is probably going to be Maybe even a tier 4 box. I mean, this could be Kennel Masters here. Left of the screen, some like, oh, it's from the streamers, not our sponsors. They have their own stream set up there. Opera GX detected, opinion rejected. Yeah, I think this is just a sponsorship that Kubon has, not us. It's okay. And he did find indeed a Kennel Master box. I mean, I did call it, and it looks like it was exactly that. And he is gonna go for the box here on the Naiads, which will actually be very, very painful for him immediately, because he instantly gets focused down on the whites there and he loses 30 of them. But this could be the liches that he so dearly desires here. So if he does get the lich box, his tempo is gonna be absolutely insane all of a sudden. Meanwhile, looks like Beastyqt did finish his turn, but he did actually get a concubine box from those reavers there. And I think he's very, very happy with his game all of a sudden. Look at this army on day 3 coming from Beastyqt here. He has 160 rush shots almost with a concubine box and a very, very strong Tolkef with expert logistics here immediately into the game. So I think he's very happy with his gameplay so far and his luck throughout the template here. Meanwhile, let's see if Kubon is gonna be able to grab this box without too much losses, because it's gonna be very, very important for him to do so, and he's gonna need a fair bit of mana usage here. So I don't know if he's gonna be able to do any fights after this, but I do think that he probably intends to go back into a town. Ooh, I just realized though, Kubon no longer has any whites. They all died to the Naiad hits here in the back, and he's basically only playing on the Kennel Masters alone almost at this point. This is looking like a rather rough fight for him, to be honest. So he needs to find at least liches here, though. This could be the Death Knight box as well, and if he does find a Death Knight box, he's gonna be in a fantastic spot still. But he did lose almost the whole army here trying to get it already, so just want to see quality gameplay. I do think that they're putting up a very good fight so far, and he just needs to survive here in the end. But ooh, he loses 10 of the Kennel Masters here as well. Actually, he loses 13 of the Kennel Masters here as well. Now he's gonna go for the res. But this is indeed the tier 6 DK box. And Kubon on day 3 here, coming up with one of the best boxes that he could find. I mean, if he gets another one, he can probably go break already. This is gonna be really good for him. But he did lose almost all of the units that he had in order to get this, because he did not have those upgraded skeletons. So let's see what he's gonna be able to pull here. It's not gonna be easy for him to come back into the game, honestly. So okay, Beastyqt has an amazing, amazing game so far in terms of boxes, though I gotta say this is looking fantastic for him as well. And he finds another 2 boxes next to this town, and I believe he will be able to reach the town as well, which means he will grab maybe the astrology here, or potentially just stay for mana, but looks like he's saving up one of the rush shots even. He did go for tactics here, which is a very interesting pickup actually. And he does get a tier 2 box. I honestly think that he would probably prefer grabbing some of these tier 1 boxes right now, but let's see what he's going to do here. He is considering maybe going for the Mage Guild, but he does have a TP available still for himself, so yeah, no good level ups before previous level. Okay, so it was probably not intended to go for the this tactics level up right now, but can still be pretty good. I mean, depending on what the middle is here, right? If you can have tactics to potentially connect with some Cavaliers if it's Temple, or with, let's say, the Chillins right away if it's Grove middle, can be very, 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 very good pickup for him still. He still has somebody's bald little head under the table. I believe that is his leg. Okay, I mean, at this point he's doing almost every fight on auto. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if he doesn't even split the units anymore, because he does not need the 1 stacks, to be honest, so. Okay, he's considering Battle Magic, and he does pick it. I mean, it is a good pickup for Tolkef, so let's see what else he's gonna be able to find here. He definitely wants a few more boxes because he's not really finding much right now, and he is seeing one of the relics in his biome, which is an Ambassador's Hash, which is probably one of the worst relics that you could find, because most people do not actually go for the Diplomacy gameplay here at all, so he's not very happy with his relics for sure, but he still needs a couple more boxes in order to be able to get this early break that he needs so desperately into the game here. Is this a 1-hero mode, or is their strategy just focused around a single hero? This is a 1-hero mode. They cannot hire another hero, basically. At some point, Schism Battle becomes Fast Battle, problem still in PvP. True, and of course that he will have a little bit of issues here trying to break, because he only has shooters, really. He did not find much of the other army, and I think he was definitely preferring 1 Arbiter box by now. The Arbiters can be extremely, extremely good for him, so. Optical easily can counter all of his army. True. That is very, very true. Let's see. Kubon so far is getting his second win as well. He did find one of the Lich boxes by the looks of it. He did lose most of the Kennel Masters entirely now, so he only has the DKs, and by the looks of it, one of the Lich boxes here. It's still a very, very good position to be in for him, but he is definitely struggling a little bit, trying to break soon, and he only has 2-1 stats right now, so it's not a fantastic spot for him to be in still. Looks like he's going for a Vampire Dwelling right about now, and he's probably going to try his best in order to get enough tempo here, trying to break, but he's going for a 3rd town right now, so he's not even going towards the break, and it is day 6 after all. which means he is getting to a point where it's gonna be pretty late for him to do anything. And what is his plan going to be here? Looks like he wants to grab the second vampire here, probably. That's why he's trading for the Mercury. And yeah. Is he going to be able to at least reach this town? That would be very good for him. He does find, I believe, another pile of books here. Or is that an altar of insight, maybe? He does still have a second win available right now. He does get the second level up as well, which means he is likely going to be able to second win and maybe reach this town right now. And that's going to be pretty decent, but he does barely not reach the town, which is quite unfortunate for him. So yeah, he's going to have to just probably take this objective and maybe move out entirely here. So a little bit unfortunate for him. He definitely wanted to get a little bit more done this turn, but is he going to stay here? I guess he might be looking to stay here. He probably does think that the light weavers there are going to be a box as well for him. So Beastyqt did find a shot box by the looks of it, and I think he might be on his way to the break here. We could potentially see a day 6 break, so I wonder if this might not... No, this cannot be the break itself. I think there would be a lot more chillins than this, to be honest. So what is this for? This has to be a relic fight, or probably even a tier 6 box, considering the amount of chillins here. That would be really, really good for him, actually, if this is the case. So it looks like he will get a shot with the concubine here. He does get a hit off with the heroic strike as well. And I'm guessing this fight is gonna be rather easily done for him right now. He is not even losing anything because they actually go for the cultist, which still had the communion levels here. And he does find +4 scales of power, actually. This was a very solid pickup for him. He has 11 attack right now. He has the Dragonbone Greaves on the ground here as well. And look at this game from Beasty. I mean, he is so strong all of a sudden here. 13 attack. He's picking up a lot of permanent stats here. And yeah, it's looking better and better for him, honestly. He still has a second wind available, and he's grabbing all of these objectives very easily right now. I do think he went in the wrong way a little bit here, because this is not actually the break fight. This is the road to his other town. I'm not sure if he realized yet, but I guess he could side break. He has fly after all, and he probably has the loss from Schism by now. That will allow him to stay out for a while and maybe make some of these investments into desert from the side break here. And he does have multiple other boxes. He's going to be able to pick up another pretty big fight here on the Inquisitors as well. So not bad for Beasty, that is for sure. Meanwhile, it does look like Kubon is going for the Lightweaver box here. But that does mean that he's not going to be able to break this turn at all, or probably even for a while here, and that's not going to be that great for him. So let's see what Beasty's fight was for, actually. These upgraded Inquisitors here actually are fairly high value, so this could be a big box or another Scales of Power maybe for him. And his stats are already looking fantastic to begin with, honestly, so not bad at all. Looks like he's considering to web them, and he might have a good play here, trying to potentially sacrifice all of them in order to maybe grab this. Oh, he didn't realize it. He could have actually summoned here and grabbed a lot more shots from those Aga shots there. He is getting Battlecraft here. I mean, he's only missing offense from having an almost perfect skill tree here, I would say, so not bad at all. And he's actually going for another Scales of Power, so I was correct that this was a very big objective here. He does have some pretty easy breaks to go for. He does find a Huntress break here. And is he just gonna go for it? I think that he definitely can. He's definitely strong enough to be able to do that. He might maybe need some more mana here, but these breaks are done on auto already with these kind of stats that he has on the Tolkien right now. And that is looking really, really solid for him. I wonder, out of the prior tournaments, are there any strong strategies for the Dungeon faction or good heroes to start with? I mean, Dungeon has a lot of heroes, but I think we've seen mostly mages being picked so far and trying to go for this mage gameplay into like high astrology later on. And looks like Beasty is indeed going for the break in the same turn here. And I think he picked up one of the harder breaks for sure for him, because I think the Huntresses were a lot easier, to be honest. This is not gonna be such an easy break on the Avatar of War here, because they do take a creature with them every time they attack with that Death Stare, but he does have some decent spells. I mean, he's gonna probably be able to do some damage here at the very least. With such stats, it should be an easy battle. I think he will be able to do this probably pretty easily too, I would assume. But he's definitely gonna struggle a little bit trying to get this this break done easily here. Looks like he is considering blocking himself in for as long as possible. This way he will be able to shoot with the cultists as well with a long reach. So, not a bad strategy at all from him so far, but honestly, he has so much, he has so little mana that I would actually not use a second cast here of the Thaumaturgy and just keep his mana for as long as possible to maybe get a third cast off, because if he does use it now, he's not going to be able to have this third cast potentially. So maybe a Carapace next turn into Sheet Cloak afterwards could be the way here to go. And he does actually have the shots going first, so let's see what he's going to be able to do here. He's out of time. Ooh, that is actually true. He is out of time entirely here, and he needs to be a little bit careful, because I don't know if he actually realized that he is out of time, and I don't think he did. He's running out entirely. Yep, I don't think he realized that he was out of time. He was looking around, and now he's gonna lose almost all of the units here for free. I am not so sure if Beasty is going to be able to do this fight that easily. He went for one of the hardest breaks that he could find here, so I think he's still okay, but uses one of the Circles of Winter here. He might be able to kite one of the stacks back with a little bit of luck here, and then maybe, I mean, no, he's definitely fine still. He has enough army to potentially just brute force this, but he is going to lose almost everything that he has. I'm not sure if that's so worth at the end of the day. He's basically going to have only the Rashots left and probably a couple of the Concubi, but he's most likely going to lose a few of the Concubi on top of everything here, so quite a rough break for him for sure. Okay, he does do the break. He loses 4 of the Concubi. He loses almost everything else but the Rashots here. And he is out of timer, and he's out of mana entirely, actually, so he doesn't really have a lot to do right now. Looks like they are going into the final fight, so we're going to be able to see what the opponents have. And I think Beast is in a little bit of trouble, because Kubon did find one more DK box in the last turn, and he's up to 36 Death Knights right now, so Kubon in definitely one of the stronger positions into the game right now. He also has the mana, actually, but there is a big Circle of Winter coming in. And that does kill a lot of the army that Kubon had. Okay, but now there's too many DKs. I think this is a pretty easy win for Kubon still here. Yeah, he basically kills almost all of the rush shots in one turn, and that is the first fight. Looks like Kubon is taking the lead into the series 1-0 here against Beastyqt with the second DK box coming up, but he still does need to break here, so it's not going to be that easy for him to make something happen. And let's see what his break is going to be, because he definitely could be in a little bit of trouble. Looks like 20 to 49 dragons here with some upgraded hydras, and he does not have that great stats to begin with, honestly, so he's actually going off path a little bit. He did not like that main break that much by the looks of it, and what is he going to choose to do here? Kubon actually not wanting to break here, and this is gonna maybe be a problem for him. He's refusing to go into the desert right now. A little bit afraid that he's going to lose too much army and he's not gonna be able to have enough afterwards, I guess. Who won the first one? The Necro player won the first fight here with the 36 DKs that he has. But yeah, that was a fairly bad turn from him. I mean, he doesn't really do anything other than simply going into the side there, trying to find a little bit more boxes and content, but that's not going to be enough tempo for him, considering that Beastie here is already broken, and he did actually find another shot box, probably on the way to the desert here for him, so looks like Beastie is making a little bit of a comeback into the game already, and Kubon might be in trouble if he doesn't want to break at all here. Ooh, okay, Beastie finding the Arbiter box. And that is an amazing look for him right now. All of a sudden, look at this army. I mean, he definitely picked up the pace here, and now I think he is able to probably go straight into the desert. I don't necessarily like the positioning here from the side town, but as long as he has enough mana to fly every single turn, he should be fine. And he does have 3 points into the mana regeneration here for Schism, which means that he will likely be able to stay out for a very long time with almost 8,000 astrology here, so he's gonna probably have a dimension door coming in very soon as well. And right now I think it's up to Kubon basically to make something happen, but he is just running around his biome here, not really able to find much, so looks like he did pick up another dog box. Doesn't really find anything else that turn. I think it was just one skeleton box, one dog box, and he's still looking around trying to see what he can break, but it is 1-2 and he's not in desert yet. Meanwhile, his opponent is basically rushing straight through the desert right now, through the boxes already, so I think what he's trying to do is trying to find a break that he can basically do on the despair that Laura has here. It's not so easy for him because he's gonna have to side break. He doesn't have a lot of units to survive here for long, and he may actually lose most of the army other than the DKs here trying to do this break as well, so both of the opponents are gonna be in a rather precarious spot here if they lose too much to these breaks. But Beastie already is in desert, and he did take that extra turn trying to gain some army, so we already see him doing some fights in the desert here. And this could very well be a tier 7 box coming for him immediately, which would be absolutely a massive power spike for him. And we need to remember, Schism has this power spike in Outcast Tournament because they actually give Communion to all the boxes that they find in Desert as well. So very nice Circles of Winter positioning for him actually, and yeah, he does this fight almost for free now, even though there are a lot of vampires here. When I have the other players' POV on one of the small screen slots while spectating, would be nice to follow both players at the same time. You're not gonna see anything on those small screens. I mean, I don't think you'll be able to see anything there, honestly. So could maybe, like, I could maybe do that for the next series, but I feel like it's not something that is going to help. There is army in box in desert. Yes, all of the boxes in the desert on this tournament will be army between I think tier 5 and tier 7, which means that every single Pandora box that we're gonna see here will be a huge power spike for probably both of the opponents right now. So it's very important for them to find as much army as possible, basically. Yeah, very well done fight so far by Beasty here. It looks like he's gonna be able to do this without losing almost anything, to be honest. And all of a sudden, 2 boxes here actually. So it is Dungeon Middle, and he's gonna get a Hydra box and the Medusa box coming into the game immediately. And now it's gonna come down to just grabbing as much power as possible and trying to get these power spikes going. So will he choose to stay out here, or will he choose to go back towards his main town and just try to get to the side town? I don't know if he realized that he's basically skipping the side town from his main break right now, going from this side here. So, you know, it looks like Kubon did do the break fight on the Phoenixes here. He picked up luck and logistics here, and let's see how much army did he lose to this break fight, because he does not look very happy right now. And I mean, he did actually keep all of the DKs alive. So he only lost about half of the leeches that he had, but this is honestly looking like a fairly strong army for him still. He just needs to find his way through this desert right now and try to do as much of the fights as possible. So it's a bit unfortunate for him that he's finding only the magic immune breaks here, and he has obviously the AoE despair that he wants to use as much as possible. So that's not the best sight that you would like to see for sure. Looks like Beasty picked up resistance as his last slot, so he's already considering having a more magic resistance reliable setup here against a mage. So is he going to go towards the second town, or does he want to rush towards the middle town immediately now? I still think that picking up this town is rather decent, and it looks like he actually wants a Vori Ruin here, which will be a decent spike in his resources. He might be able to build some of the upgrades early on because he goes for this, which is going to be really good for him. Okay, he's losing a little bit of army here to the Black Dragons, and oof, he's down to 31 DKs actually right now, so 8 leeches only, 31 DKs, and he did not go for the res, surprisingly. So he's not planning to play this on the necromancy. He's just trying to play as much as possible on the middle army here that he's gonna get. He loses another 3 DKs to the reflector, and yeah, he's down to 30 only for a Hydra box. I mean, this is still worth for him, but it is looking really dicey a little bit because he is not having his access to the desert here, skipping the first town into the desert as well, and he's not gonna have a lot of mana left considering he needs a lot of despairs and magic used every single turn here. So let's see what he's gonna be able to do. Right now it does not look like a great start for Kubon, being 1 day behind basically Beastyqt. So looks like Beasty did make it to his first town here in that turn, and he's actually gonna be in a pretty decent spot right now to simply go for the middle town while farming everything on the way. He does have groundside at level 4, I believe, already, which means that he will be able to see most of the Pandora box fights here And that is actually really, really solid for him. He did go for the Dimension Door while Kubon is going for the Flight, because Beasty is ahead in having this Astrology right now, and it looks like he is finding more and more boxes on the road here. So very, very strong setup for him. He does have a lot of shooters as well that will definitely be helpful in terms of keeping some of this army alive. And yeah, looks like a decent game for Beasty here. You know, Kubon is trying his best in order to not lose all of the army that he has. And he is doing some of the fights here for some little bit of extra army. It looks like he is rushing towards his side town as well, which means both of the opponents basically side broke into the main town here, trying to get that the desert progression as fast as they could into the game. Question, why you went base Hydras instead of the upgraded ones? Is there a strategy in keeping your units at base level? Basically, you can go for the base Hydras or base units in general, because one, there are dwellings in the middle desert. Therefore, your dwellings will be able to stack up with the box army that you get. And the second reason is that usually you have a town where you can upgrade this army either in your biome or in the desert itself, meaning that you can theoretically just grab the base units. They're always more, and then you can upgrade them to have a much bigger power stack than if you'd go for the upgraded stack entirely instantly there. And it looks like Kubon here is actually trying to rush towards his middle desert town immediately without picking this side town here. And I think that might not be the best idea for him right now, because he has only 2 towns. He's gonna be a little bit struggling with Astrology. He's gonna be struggling a little bit with map progression here as well. And Beasty is definitely far ahead in terms of that. So I think Kubon is falling a little bit behind right now. Basically not breaking when he could have through that early Black Dragon break there. So meanwhile, on Beastyqt's side, we see 3 Medusa boxes, I believe, and 1 Hydra box so far, so he's not doing fantastically well yet. He definitely wants to find some of the tier 7 boxes here before the next final fight, because they can give him Black Dragons, which means he would have a very, very potent and strong tier 7 magic immune creature. And that's going to be very relevant for him, but he does have this huge communion right now, which is really helping him out for sure. And he's going already for the expert resistance, so his army is not going to take that much damage, but he does not have offense, which is something very, very important to note here. But look at how many boxes he's grabbing, everything basically. So his army is definitely far, far ahead of Kubon right now. This will probably be another tier 6 box, I would assume, from this many Cavaliers. And yeah, Kubon is still just looking towards the middle of the desert here, trying to get as much map progression as he can. But he already ended his turn, and Beasty is still going, picking up every single box here. Ooh, and we see a Cave Dragon being picked up by Beasty here, actually. So he did find one of the tier 7 boxes, but he did choose not to go for the Black Dragons yet. So he might be looking towards some upgrades here, actually, which is interesting. That means he is thinking that he's likely going to win this second final fight. And maybe go for that third final fight with all of the upgrades, I would assume. Looks like Kubon here is going to his middle town as well. He's grabbing it this turn, but his army is really not looking that strong anymore. He only has one of the Hydra boxes, and he only has about 30 of the Death Knights left. Even though he did farm quite a few as well from the fights here, so he used up his necromancy power as well. And that's gonna be a bit rough for him now going forward, so I think he still has a magic arrow he did not use here. For the unnatural calm to not lose a Death Knight. I think he was probably fine without it too, but looks like he wants to be as safe as possible. He is going for the logistics now. He does have a little bit of a better skill tree, I think, with the Thaumaturgy offense here compared to Beasty, but is that gonna be enough if he's gonna be so far down in army here? So quite a few boxes, however, around this this middle town for him, and that will give him a little bit of the tempo that he needs in order to come back into the game right now. The base unit has more total HP compared to the upgraded one, so you're picking only upgraded units that either provide you with more utility or a useful extra ability. That is very true, yeah. I think sometimes it is good to go for the upgraded units as well, so. He's really not having a lot of fun right now because he only finds magic immune. Every fight almost that Kubon did so far is somehow magic immune. I gotta say that it's a little bit unfortunate for him, but I think he will be fine still. It looks like he's not losing that much here, so. Okay, -3 Death Knights again. He is gonna find a Pandora box here, and it's gonna be another Hydra box. So the Hydra stack is gonna become strong enough to probably start carrying the fights here for him as well. But he doesn't really have a way to deal with a lot of fights in Desert right now, and he has to skip even some of these Utopias, for instance. So it's still not the best spot that he would like to be in, I think. You know, Beasty has a lot of law points. I just realized he's getting very close to that the final law. And he did grab his middle desert town here as well. He has a dragon piece as well here with the fallen angel wings. I guess he did a Utopia this last turn. Doesn't seem like he got a lot of it from, but he did get an Orb of Inhibition. Very notably here because he does have tactics. He does have the army superiority and he does have the stat superiority as well. Which means that with this Orb of Inhibition, he could potentially cause a lot of havoc here in turn 1 before his opponent even gets to move or to cast anything. Turbo Masters are awesome as an upgraded unit. Yeah, definitely. He has 7 low points, which means he might be able to grab one of these last tier points here this turn, and that's going to be really, really solid for him, honestly. Up to 46 now, he can get a free level up there as well. And he's looking right now with Groundside, trying to find where all of the Pandora boxes are, and he does see a lot already down below there, so I think he's in a pretty decent spot to start farming basically everything here. Meanwhile, Kubon is looking to do more and more fights here. Looks like he does this on a little bit of losses. I mean, almost everything that he does right now is suffering some losses here, which is not great. He does finally get one of the Medusa boxes, which is really solid for him because he needs a shooter stack right now. Trying to gain as much army as possible without losing the Necro army, if possible for him. And I gotta say that his might stats definitely need a little bit of an improvement. Down to 6-4 right now. Still, compared to some really, really solid stats coming from Beasty, I mean, those scales of power that he had in Biome, giving him basically +8 stats here. were a fantastic pickup for him. And look at that, 1912 to 4-6 stats basically is a huge, huge difference. So Beasty definitely has an advantage in terms of doing the fights here, even against the PvE fights right now. And does look like he picked up a Primal Magic Tome, so we could see some magic coming in from him as well. He does have another 2 boxes here, and that is a fantastic army. 11, 12 dragons, 49 hydras, 115 liches here, and he's grabbing even more and more stats. He is really struggling on timer though, but look at that army right now, and he's even gonna do a research laboratory before his turn ends. And yeah, looks like he's just gonna go back. He's gonna grab mana here in a town. He did find a Dark Hatchet as well, which could be very solid for him as well right now. Maybe later on, because he does not have a lot of attack to begin with, but he's definitely looking in a strong position, and he does run out of timer, sadly. So this is gonna be the setup that Beasty has right now. Orb, why? Because he does not have a lot of spells, and because his opponent is basically almost entirely going to focus on spells to win the fights here. So if you go for Orb of Inhibition in the first turn, that means that you are going to rely on Might army only, and with 35 attack and this much army superiority along with Communion levels, he's definitely going to have an advantage here when it comes to that Might versus Might fight and power. So I think it's definitely a solid pickup from him, to be honest. And let's see what Kubon can muster up here for the final fight. Also gotta remember, very notably, Beasty has tactics, which means all of his units will be able to connect in turn 1 with the opponent units, and that is an absolutely huge advantage when you have this much army difference, because that means the spells will not be able to kill you in time before you pretty much eliminate all of your opponent's units there. So looks like we have the second final fight here, and Kubon did notably find one of the Black Dragon boxes here, which could be pretty decent for him, but as I said, he does not have any spells to use, and Beasty is just gonna go in. He's just gonna send the Hydras in, he's just gonna send the Cave Dragons in, and he has so many shooter stacks behind. I mean, the Medusas alone can probably win this final fight. 159 Medusas with 35-14 Might stats here versus 6-4 coming from Kubon, who is probably trying to cast something right now, realizing that there is Orb of Inhibition in play, and he cannot even do that. So the army from Beastyqt is definitely much higher now. He had way more tempo going to the desert, and it just shows up. I mean, Kubon was too slow to break. I think going for that middle break was definitely a solid play from him. He should not have skipped that, because he basically gave Beasty all of the advantages that he needed to come back into the game, even though he lost that first fight. So yeah, we basically, as I said, all of the stacks all of a sudden in turn 1 are dead here from Kubon, and he needs to find a way to come back into the game. I mean, he needs to find so much army into the desert here. Also, he probably needs a way to deal with the Orb of Inhibition and the tactics shooters that Beasty has. I would guess some range damage reduction maybe, or potentially going for a lot of initiative himself with some of these initiative high speed units to potentially get some shots in. With no offense even, yeah, but the Might stat difference is too big. It's just too big. When you have 30 attack over your opponent's defense, it doesn't really matter if you have that offense or not, to be honest. So looks like Beasty is looking for more boxes here. He is basically able to grab almost everything in the desert by now. He's not gonna care about any of the fights here. He's even grabbing the perma stats. He knows that he needs as much attack as possible. So I'm surprised that he's prioritizing dwellings even, which means that he is trying to grab as much as possible without even going for Pandoras mainly, so... Looks like he did find his white tree. Not that relevant anymore, I would say, because at this point the white tree is only good if you build something in your biome most of the time, which I don't think he did, but could be a play to maybe pick up some of the unit upgrades in one of the dungeon towns here and trying to white tree for some extra units, for instance. So anyway, it's gonna come down mostly to Kubon here, trying to find a way back into the game because he's definitely far behind. And it's 1-1 right now, but... let's see what he's gonna be able to do here. Yet again, magic immune fight, and he actually loses more black dragons, so... what is 1-1? The score for the map, yeah. I mean, I gotta say, it's not really looking good for Kubon because he's losing more units than he gains on most of these fights, and that is rather difficult for him right now, so... -3 Hydras, minus dragons as well. He's still very far behind in level ups as well, actually, but he does have the better skill tree technically. He just needs a way to grab these fights without losing so much. But I think he's looking around and he's realizing that there's not much to even go for here. I mean, he's not using ground sight that well as well, and he lost most of the army that he had, so... Laura probably not the best hero on this template. Honestly, I think Laura is fine. The problem that Kubon had here was that he almost died early on to the white box, and he lost all of the skeletons. And then basically to try and come back into the game, he had to play on these high tier boxes. He managed to get the whites traded for the DKs, and then with those DKs, he managed to get like another leech box into another DK box, right? But that was spending too much time for him already. And the bigger problem is that he lost everything but those DKs. So every fight that he did afterwards kind of started to bleed units, and he was also very scared of actually going into the desert on the proper timing. And he waited until I think 1-1 or 1-2, which is a rather late timing here to go into desert. You usually probably want to go at around 1-1-6 even, so a little bit rough game for him for sure. He's find a nice artifact here, but again, he's not finding any of the boxes, and I'd really like for him to use ground sight here, trying to find them, but he doesn't actually do that. And it's starting to be a little bit rough for him. Goes into another magic immune break, but he does have this AoE Despair right now, which is very good against tier 7 creatures from Schism, because they're not actually immune. And yeah, he manages to do this fight pretty easily. But again, it's just for relics. He does not find any boxes right now, and he needs to even go back. Does he know that ground sight can show him the boxes? Honestly, I'm not sure if he does know that piece of information, because he's not using ground sight to find his Pandora boxes, and that is starting to really show for Beastyqt here, just basically going straight for every single Pandora that he can find. Meanwhile, Kubon is struggling a little bit. How many towns he has? I don't know. His camera is on top of it, but I think he has 3 towns in the biome and then 1 in the desert, so 4 in total. It was time to scroll back 1 hour 34 minutes and watch from the start. Good series so far, so go for it. And yeah, looks like Beastyqt found another Dragon box, another Hydra box, and didn't really find anything else in these past turns. I guess he's kind of running out of Pandora boxes himself right now. Basically having so much of the desert farmed out already, so he does see quite a few boxes on this right side here, and I'm guessing he's gonna just continue farming everything that he can. So he's grabbing every single dwelling still. He's grabbing a lot of Hydras. He might be having the Hydra upgrade by now as well, which would be a huge power spike for him. if he can upgrade his Hydras for the next fight. And there's only 4 turns remaining here. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if Kubon can have any chances. But there's another 5 cave dragons coming from Beastyqt. That is up to 23 dragons by now. That is an amazing power stack. Another 5, 28. And yeah, he's basically map hacking with this ground site right now, going straight for every single box that he can find. So very solid play from him. Grabs everything that he can from this right side, and he even has a dimension door left, so he might be able to even grab one more box this turn, which means that it's gonna be a fantastic turn for him overall. Meanwhile, for Kubon here, he is still doing a lot of fights on Despair. Looks like a pretty easy fight overall for him as well, and he needs to find more army though. I mean, he only has 1 Black Dragon and almost nothing else, so let's find another box here. That is another Hydra box. I mean, if he can get to enough Hydras, maybe to rely on spell power a little bit. He has 23 spell power. His casting stats are looking a little bit better than Beastie's, and I think his casting is probably looking a little bit better than Beastie's as well. But with that Orb of Inhibition, he has very little play here that he can make, basically. So might be a GG. I mean, I think Beastie definitely pulled ahead here by a lot, let's be honest. But let's see if Kubon still has a chance. There are still 4 turns into this tournament game, so you will have less army and worse stats in fight 3 than Beastie had in fight 2. To be honest, I think he will have less army than he had in the first fight himself. I mean, he went from 36 DKs to 13, he lost 40 leeches, basically gained the Hydras, but it's not looking great. He needed to find boxes, and he's just not finding any boxes. Everywhere he goes, it's just artifacts. In all fairness, it's quite unfortunate for him, but he did not realize that he can use the ground site. So honestly, that is just a little bit of a misplay coming from him, I guess. So Saj, he needs to use this ground site, and I still don't think he realizes that it's there for a reason. Players, by the way, on this template start with ground site. It's just because they are meant to use ground site as much as possible. At level 4, ground site basically gives the option to see any Pandora boxes around the map just by looking at where they are. So it's a very strong thing to have, and he doesn't quite use that yet. He does find a Pandora box here. He gets another Medusa box. I think he actually lost one of those first ones, and still looking around. He does find another, so he's starting to find a few of the boxes here, which is looking better and better for him. But is it gonna be enough in time? Meanwhile, of course, Beastie is doing the exact same thing. He's still grabbing every single box that he can find. His stats, oh my god, these stats are amazing for Beastie right now. 54, 22. His attack is out of this world for a Jibus Outcast tournament here. And he's up to almost 200 Medusas, 100 Hydras, 28 Dragons here. I mean, this is a very fantastic spot to be in for Beastyqt, and I think this game is starting to look like it's in the bag for him. But using ground set at this level is very strange. Maybe he's not super used to Outcast. I believe so. Yeah, I think that Outcast tournament is one of the somewhat newer templates, so Kubon might simply not know that it's one of the ways to play this template, basically, and to try and get that ground set to level 4 immediately, and from there trying to do your best, basically, in order to find as many Pandoras as possible, and to mainly focus on these Pandora boxes throughout the game. So looks like Beast is upgrading some of the artifacts as well. I would like actually to go for him to go for the Dark Hatchet honestly, I think that with this much attack, the Dark Hatchet here is probably gonna be better in terms of stats than the Claw is. So let's see what he's going to do here. He has 500 dust here, so he can definitely still upgrade almost everything that he finds. Right, will Kubon be able to find enough and in time? 2 more days until the final fight. His army is looking a little bit better now. He's getting some free level ups as well. Looks like he's gonna go for this arbiter box as well. He does have the despair still available and 38 power right now, so it's looking better and better for Kubon for potentially a win in terms of power here. But he needs to find summons. He needs to find something. Otherwise, he's not gonna get that much done, even with this much power, if he only has tier 1 or tier 2 spells here, so... Probably win without the artifacts at all. Beasty has 1 ring for power. Potentially, I mean, Beasty is definitely ready for this. He has the resistance as well, right? So... looks like he's considering one of the battlecrafts here. He has everything leveled now other than the logistics, so he's getting a little bit better off. He did find quite a few of the Hydra boxes by now, up to 68. But he still misses all of those Medusas and Dragons that Beastyqt has, so it's still a struggle for him. He does find, I think, one more box here, and it is another Medusa box, so let's see if he's gonna be able to get enough. Do you get a magic to check the map? Ground sight, you start with it. Or it's like a level 1, I think, spell basically. But on this template, I think that every single hero will start with ground sight. So. Alright, Beasty is having one big problem right now, and that big problem is his timer. He's actually struggling on timer a little bit. He's been trying to upgrade some units and to upgrade some artifacts here for quite some time. But he cannot really find the time to do so, and that's starting to be a little bit rough for him. I think he still wants to probably upgrade these Hydras, and that's exactly what he's looking for the upgrade right now. But he needs to leave enough of his timer available for that. Not only that, he needs to make sure that he's getting ready for this final fight in the next turn here. Please add multi-selection to destroy artifacts page. I believe that will be one of the quality of life changes in the future, actually, so. Looks like Beasty is looking around with ground sight still. He's trying to find a little bit more boxes to go for here. Does find a Utopia, which is very good for him. Finds a 7 Eyes. That could be a fantastic pickup, and he gets another 2 Hydra boxes right now, and he finds another box even on the Abyssal Executors here, gets another dwelling, and yeah, I'm guessing he's probably just gonna return to the town, try to upgrade all of these Hydras, and it looks like he's even gonna find another box here, another level up, one more attack, another Hydra box, but that's all the movement that he had, and I guess he's gonna have to return to the town here, so he's gonna go back. Let's see if he can afford the upgrade for the Hydras. This is 160 Hydras here. And 100k gold almost, but he does go for the Chthonic Hydras actually. And 279 Medusas. Whoa, that is a lot of army. Yeah, Beasty is as ready as he can possibly be. He has both of the magic resistance artifacts actually a 3-piece set as well, so he's not gonna take almost any damage here. He does go for the Dark Hatchet as well, which is enough to be better than the Claw right now. And yeah, I mean, his stats are looking great. He has the Resonance set as well. He has everything that he needs, and he has enough timer to set up here too, so. Meanwhile, Kubon, looks like he's sitting in the town as well. He did have some liches, I suppose. He's trying to play a little bit of the detonations here. But he only has 3 Medusa boxes and he only has 94 Hydras to 160. I mean, the armies here are just simply not comparable. Kubon fell behind quite a bit because of that late break from him. And yeah, it just shows at this point. So I think Beasty should have this game in the bag pretty easily for him. Kubon is down in stats as well. 12-11 might with 39 power. I mean, the power is nice. The spells are okay, but it's gonna be a rough fight for him. This is such a beautiful army from Beastyqt. I gotta say, this was a very, very well played game from him. Coming back into the game from the 0-1 loss here in the first fight, he was having a really rather unfortunate game as well with the break there. I mean, he broke through the Avatars of War and lost almost all of the units that he had, so very nicely played, very well comeback into the game, and he gets game 1, I think. He's gonna be pretty easily with this many Hydras. I mean, there is not much counter to 180 Hydras. 40 Cave Dragons as well to 1, so victory is called. Kubon GG's out, seeing the army from Beasty, and Beastyqt taking game number 1 and bringing the series to 1-0 here. If he gets one more game, it's over for Kubon, so let's hope Kubon can bring a better game 2 here, trying to come back into the series. And GG's well played to Beasty here. The Necropolis is OP. How that? Necropolis did get a little bit of a nerf lately, but it's an overpowered town on Exodus, and because most of the people are playing Exodus, it's considered as one of the top towns basically because of that. So, but on Outcast Tournament, I do think that Schism is a little bit better than Necropolis is overall. I could never be competitive in this game. I like mono race armies too much. That is, I mean, that's everyone's preference really, but a lot of these templates do kind of focus on getting these army boxes, I guess. So right, we're gonna have a couple of minutes break, and then the players will go for game number 2. It depends on the template. Yeah, for sure. I think that the templates matter a lot when it comes to the factions. Some factions might be stronger on some templates and so on. So, okay, let me try to figure out what they're playing. I mean, it's going to be Exodus, game number 2. Kubon actually picked Exodus here instead of picking the faction. Very interesting. And Beasty picked Grove, so we have a player on Grove over Schism, and Kubon went for Temple. So we have a Grove versus Temple on what will be an Exodus game here. Okay, now I should be able to do the first one as well. Schism becomes Grove. This becomes Temple. Kira, do you play PvP Olden Era? I not too recently, as in not in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But before that I did, yeah. I got to top... I think I'm still in top 100 in single hero mode. But I was in top 10 for quite some time there before I took a break. I think I'll go and play a bit myself. I want to prove my one way of playing. Thanks for answering my questions. Have a nice rest of the stream. Thank you so much, First Dragon Lord. Much appreciated for tuning in. Beastyqt the Grove God, Big Grove. I'm so shocked. I mean, let's see his Grove gameplay. I'm expecting some great gameplay here from both of them, honestly. But I do think that Kubon had a little bit of a rough game there, to be honest, in the first game. I mean, he had a really solid start, but then the fight for the whites ended up losing too many units, and then from there it was just going from one box to another and never really having enough to just get that power spike where you can start doing all of the fights on auto. You don't really lose as much, right, and so on. So certainly does. Beastyqt Grove Enjoyer. We'll see. I have not watched him too much playing, so we'll see if he's gonna have the best games here on Grove or not, but I do definitely expect some great gameplay coming from him. So honestly, it's gonna be a bit difficult to see a better game than I think Blackfire Ice on Grove last series. That was a Grove showcase, straight up, a masterclass from him, and I really enjoyed watching that. It was very nice to see him not only play through the faction itself, but really all of the decision making that he made when he would get the units, when he would go for the upgrades, right? How he set up for the first fight and so on. So it was really something to see from Blackfire Ice there. It's bloody cool that Heroes has a competitive edge to it now, though part of me would love to see the best players having a large free-for-all match over a 1v1 game. I gotta say, I've been a competitive player 1v1 my entire life as well, but I also love the free-for-alls. The free-for-alls are just the best. There's nothing better really sometimes, so... Grove wasn't banned? No way. They don't have bans for the factions here. They can simply pick it. But Kubon actually chose to go for the Exodus pick instead of the faction pick here as the first priority. And that is a bit interesting. Honestly, I think that picking Grove over the template was probably a little bit better for him. Because it's unlikely that Beasty will go for the Helltide pick, right? And even on Helltide, I think Grove can definitely have a lot of tempo with the Heroic Strikes. So let's see what the players are doing. Ready? Good luck. Have fun. So they're gonna play Temple versus Grove here. 1-0 for Beastyqt. And they're gonna go into Exodus. So looks like the players are ready. I think the games are starting now. Good luck, have fun to both of the opponents, and let's see what they can bring to us. So Grove Temple being picked. They already did the bans, and yeah, let's hope for a good game. Let's hope for a great game, actually. All right, we are starting the game. They are going into game number 2 here. Both resets available still, so we're probably gonna see a couple of resets left. On Exodus, definitely most of the players prefer to reset if they don't get some of these dwellings early on, because you usually take the observatory if you don't have a dwelling right away. Most of the time, you simply choose to reset the template here. Kinda hope Beastyqt would pick Vatavna or Halon instead of Gorel, but it's whatever. I don't think they are very, very useful picks on Exodus. That's probably why he did that. I mean, Gorel is just the top pick for Exodus most of the time, because you usually want to play on the heroic strikes, so that is probably why that happened. And I will stay on Beastyqt's perspective for now. Let's see if they're going to reset or not. I guess, okay, one of the resets came in immediately here and didn't grade the fonts. Personal preference, I don't grade the fonts either. I actually would usually grade the hoplets. Or if you don't go for the font upgrade, you go for the rock pickup in both towns here very quickly into the game. And then with 20 rocks, you can be fairly safe in even doing some of the breaks to the next zone with the heroic strikes, actually. So I've seen the Grove upgrade being picked up a couple of times, and he does it right now even, but I don't personally think it's that useful. The Fawn base upgrade there is very, very solid still, so. Finds a really high abandoned mansion. I think he was probably preferring to do this. I believe that he did not reset the first game, which means that he still has both of the resets available. So if he doesn't like what he sees here, he will probably reset. He does have a Herbomancer dwelling, and he does have quite a bit of gold here with the storage immediately, but he doesn't see any dwellings other than the Herbomancers, and I don't think this is going to be a solid biome for him. He's probably going to choose to reset this one. Okay, we have another reset coming in, and we are down to 2 resets left right now from the players. So let's see what they can find, because it's getting closer and closer to seeing this this map that will be played for the game 2, almost guaranteed at this point. Looks like Beasty is favoring some of the mines right now. He's grabbing a little bit of experience trying to get this advanced offense, maybe probably combat right away. But again, he does not see much to do here immediately into the game, so I don't think he's going to be a big fan of this template. He really does not get any dwelling so far on any of the generations, and that can be a little bit rough to get started for growth here, because you really need some of those early army income that you can get. Meanwhile, Kubon didn't actually upgrade his marksman in the first town. He chose to go without. I think he built the marksman in the second town, probably trying to upgrade a little bit later. But that's going to be a fairly risky start for him. The Ostringers are not actually that great here. We'll be fine doing these fights. He does have 48 swordsmen as well. I mean, it will be okay, but definitely wants that upgrade as early as possible. And looks like both of the opponents are doing some of the fights right now already, so they are getting to be a little bit more in tune with the maps instead of just trying to reset here. So taking the Griffins too. I mean, the Griffins can be good. I don't think that taking the Griffins is a bad idea here. You will probably end up losing a couple of them just because you take them early on, but it's still better than probably losing some of the archers, to be honest. So pretty well done fight. Loses 1 swordsman, loses 2 of the Griffins here. Does get a gem mine immediately into the game, and that could be potentially pretty decent if he wants to build some of the units here. Looks like we do have pretty interesting matchup with basically a Heroic Strike Specialist versus Gorl, who is almost always playing on Combat and Heroic Strikes as well. And I don't think Kubon has any resets left, so he's basically just gonna end turn and wait. Meanwhile, let's see if Beasty will choose to keep this biome or not. Does look like he found a fawn dwelling here, and that is a fantastic pickup for him early on. But he does choose to still reset the map, and Beasty with one reset left right now only. Let's see if he's gonna be able to make something happen or not. Ooh, Beasty, hey, yeah, he sees a rock dwelling there. And I think he's quite happy to see that already. This is one of the best dwellings that Grove can have, especially when you're playing with these Heroic Strikes early on. He finds logistics right away, and I think we might just have our game number 2 template here. Going into the game with Beasty, having a fairly high roll biome here, so he's definitely going to be quite happy about this one, I think. Meanwhile, for Kubon here, let's see if he finds anything. I mean, if he can get potentially an Archer dwelling. And he does have a Swordsman dwelling immediately here, so it's not that bad for him either. But he needs those Archers much more than the Swordsman right now. Usually bleed them too much early on. No, the Griffins, yes and no, I guess, but looks like he's gonna accept immediately. He did not want to lose too much army to the rush shots there, I guess, but does pick the gold mine right away. He's considering going for some XP. I guess he's gonna skip the swordsman fight right now, probably trying to get a little bit stronger before he comes here. I mean, he would definitely want to have the archer upgrade, and it does not look like he has much here so far, but let's see what he's gonna do. That's a light weaver dwelling. Wait. Oh yeah, it's light weavers actually, sorry. But that it's swordsman here. Okay, light weavers are probably too much value for him to do indeed, so he's probably best that he does keep it for now, but he needs a little bit more tempo than that if he wants to keep up with Beasty's rocks here. And if Beasty can potentially get one of the third towns, trying to triple build here, that is going to be an absolute fantastic spot for him to be in. And yeah, this biome is looking pretty strong for him right now. So 40 fawns, 16 hoplets, and he does keep all of the rocks alive still. So he also has the upgraded Rashots here, but not the ranged ones on the dwelling itself, which is actually quite favorable for him because that means he's not going to lose much army trying to do the dwelling in the first place here. Yeah, the fawns are basically one-shotting already, and that's really good for him, so does have heroic strikes here to use as well. Gets the advanced logistics pickup, and yeah, wooden ring, and looks like he's gonna go for this dwelling immediately. He also finds a herbomancer dwelling here and a chilling dwelling on top of the town. This is looking like a better and better game for Beasty, to be honest. This is a fantastic biome to have right now. He even gets a morale on the fawns, so he's not gonna lose any of the units here probably. And yeah, this looks like a really good start for him. Temple, very notably, did get recently buffed, and buffed quite a bit at that as well. So Kubon could definitely have some kind of play into the game here if he can find that early setup that he needs in order to do these fights and try to get started on Temple, because they do have a slow start, especially on Exodus usually. So music ended. He's going for a lot of resources right now. He doesn't really seem to have the best gold mines here or any kind of gold income immediately into the game. Does find a Maria's altar now, and I think he's quite happy about that. He does see a circus as well, which could be a very nice free level up here for him on just the upgraded fawns, which are probably a very easy fight. He does it even without losing anything. gets the murmuring here, and personally I don't think that you go for Mycelium Grounds because it's mostly something that you just pick up for the native fights, but Grove is kind of strong without that anyway, so looks like he's getting the Expert Murmuring as a level up, and yeah, he's probably going to go for the Mareas into probably trying to reach this third town as soon as he can here. And by the way, this is the map that we're playing. They both kept, I mean, Kubon did not have a reset, so it was up to Beastyqt to keep this in the first place. Looks like he gets a very nice morale there on the archers, saves some units actually from Kubon, and yeah, it's looking like he's having a decent game right now. He did pick up combat here. He does have a lot of resources. He's going for the mines as well, and looks like a fairly standard game, trying to grab as much gold income as possible immediately into the game here. Doesn't really find any other dwellings. I mean, he does have a Griffin dwelling here. He has an Inquisitor dwelling, I guess. So it's a Lightweaver Inquisitor game potentially, but I don't think he's that happy about that. On Lord Marshal, you usually want to find angels so that you can do them pretty early on with the combat strikes. Or you want to just have a standard recruitment game with as many tier 1 to tier 3 creatures as possible, and he only has one Griffin dwelling for that, so it's gonna be a pretty rough start for him, I think, not being able to find that much army early on here. Looks like Beasty is also doing some mines. His fight taking here should be a little bit better than Kubon's, just because he has these phones early on and they can do a lot of damage. They're probably even better than the archers from castle, so looks like he's gonna do pretty well. He's gonna take some of the hits here too, and yeah, with the 3 heroic strikes, this looks like a fairly easy fight. He's not gonna lose anything here. Very nicely done. Picks up the jump on here as well, and he does have a lot of resources, but he did kind of go off-road, so he's not gonna be able to make it to this town in time. And I think he's maybe considering going a little bit off path here now, trying to do something else potentially, but it's too much to not take this town early on, so he's gonna go for it after all. Looks like we see some investments coming from Beasty as well. He's already building Menhir circles from the second town there, so he's gonna go for the tier 3s for sure. He's gonna grab the town now, and let's see what Kubon is up to. He is considering doing this Trophy Hunter's Den here. I mean, it is pretty easy as long as you have a tier, as long as you have any kind of ranged units, so. Just needs one heroic strike basically, and he should be fine here. Okay, both of the opponents are gonna pick up their third town at the exact same timing. Looks like I mean, Kubon has a pretty easy fight here as well. I think he does see an Altar of Insight next to this town, and that is quite strong to see. But I believe it was on the Lightweavers there, so it's not going to be an easy fight for him to do. And yeah, let's see how well he can take this fight right now. Guess with the archers, this should be pretty easy. I think he's going to have probably a Heroic Strike coming up this turn as well. And after that, he just needs to deal with the Troglodytes, basically. Meanwhile, Beasty did pick up his third town as well. He's looking like he wants to use this movement well right now, trying to get a little bit more tempo into the game. And he's just gonna go for as many mines as possible, I guess, trying to grab these resources early on. Looks like he might be doing a Black Tower, but a Black Tower is fairly risky to do on Grove early on because you don't have that many units to sacrifice here for those dragons. So let's see if he's gonna be able to do this, or if he's just gonna skip it entirely. Meanwhile, Kubon is grabbing another sawmill. Looks like he's gonna go back. Probably wants to grab a little bit more army here if he can. He's looking towards maybe building the griffins here by the looks of it. Probably wanted the crystal depot for the Phoenix week 1 build out. I mean, potentially it could be a build for the Phoenixes, but I'm not sure if he's gonna have the gold for that, to be honest. So he does have a Chillin dwelling. I think he's a lot better off if he's gonna try to simply build the Chillins early on and maybe play off that. So right now we see the Herbomancer dwelling being prioritized here by Beasty, and I wonder if he's actually going to try to play on the Herbomancers and build them as well, or if he's just a play for a little bit of extra army here right now. This is one of the rocks here, but that's okay. Does have combat as well already, by the way. So Goral here is almost entirely ready to do the fights. He has logistics, offense, combat. That is a perfect skill tree for a might hero here. And yeah, it looks like a very strong game from Beasty still. Looks like we see some Lightweavers being picked up here by Kubon, who is doing a fairly large objective here. This is a tier 3, I believe, so this is going to be a bit painful for him to deal with. That is 3 Arbiters. That is a lot of ranged units here that he needs to deal with, so he might end up losing quite a little bit of army, actually, and they are going for the Griffins. I think he realized that he did not move the Griffins. He was on a wait turn with them, and it's gonna be a bit painful because those cultists all of a sudden are actually in reach of both of his archers right now. Ooh, he does get the curse on the archers, and this is gonna be quite painful now. 23 cultists are gonna kill 5 archers every turn here. That's gonna be really, really rough for him. Pretty big misplay. I mean, they were gonna curse regardless. I think he needed to deal with the cultists a little bit earlier and maybe just attack them instead of the concubine here. He's losing so much army now. I mean, minus 18 archers for this objective is really rough. He does get the combat strikes finally, but his army is not looking very healthy, to be honest, and he's gonna have to find a way to kind of bring back some army. He does have 16 griffins all of a sudden, and he does still have a griffin dwelling, so he will have a decent tier 3 and a decent tier 4 power stack here regardless, but I do think he definitely wanted to keep some of the archers alive as well. Meanwhile, on Beastie side, he's doing a fight with a lot of hoplets here. Actually, this is over 100 hoplets. I wonder what this was for. Considering an early start on the phones, he does get it, so he's gonna shoot first here, and we lose 5 of the phones for this, but it's like a rather decently easy fight still. And what was this for? He gets the expert combat as well, and he actually picked up an Altar of Insight very early on into the game. That is quite interesting coming from Beastie here. So he's prioritizing those early second wins and potentially grabbing even a fairly easy flight here later on. So as find the Phoenix dwelling. Ooh, that is big. So he not only has a rock dwelling and a chilling dwelling, but he also has a Phoenix dwelling here coming up into the biome. And I think he's probably gonna try to prioritize this and maybe go for this immediately. He has 2 chilling dwellings. 2 of... Oh, wait. Yeah, we actually see it on the screen right now. On the bottom right side of the screen, he found not only the phoenixes, but the chilling as well. So this is looking like a fantastic growth biome, actually, all of a sudden for this Exodus early game here. Meanwhile, on Kubon's side, he's doing the Lightweaver dwelling. I would assume he has 12 Lightweavers, which means he did double build them in both towns. He's gonna pick up the dwelling as well, so actually he's gonna have a very strong tier 4 power stack here with the laws and with a double build plus a dwelling here. Quite interesting to see from him as well. There's another Lightweaver dwelling he can pick up even. I mean, if he has a second one, that's gonna be fantastic for him. Okay, there is the Lightweaver picked up. I don't think he was able to afford all of them. I think he's still missing one there, but looks like he's gonna go for more laws even into the Lightweavers. He's gonna make this his main power stack probably. So honestly, it's looking better and better for Kubon as well. He has a very, very strong army, and he did find that way to get Temple started early on. And remember, these laws were almost all buffed a little bit. They're much easier to get now, and much easier to get even the double build per turn law for Temple, which on Exodus can be quite relevant. Potentially being able to double or triple build even up to like Angels or Inquisitors on week 2 here very easily. So okay, let's see what is Beastyqt up to. Looks like he's doing a pretty big objective himself here for some gold, I guess, but I don't believe that he picked up the Phoenix dwelling, and I don't think he's going for the Chillins yet either, so I'm wondering kind of what is his game plan here right now for him. I do think he needs to put most of his army on the left, but I think he will get hit on the rock there instead of going for the hoplets, and that's gonna be a little bit rough if that happens. So he went for the Awakening, does get a hit off here, and okay, very, very decently done fight so far, I would say. He still has 1 Heroic Strike left for the next turn. I do think he probably wants to deal with those 9 archers here as fast as possible. Ooh, gets a very nice morale, does kill the other stack there as well, and we'll be able to deal with the archers hitting here, probably with the rocks, and then he can shoot with the phone. I mean, this fight should be pretty easily done now, I think. Let's get a hit there. He's gonna lose 1. Okay, decently done. I don't think he's gonna lose much more army here and lose another rock. I think that was a bit maybe avoidable there. Chooses to skip leadership, so he does not want to go for the heroic strike gambles here. And yeah, he's just gonna grab as much stuff as he can in this zone here. He's looking for the crystal storage even from the halflings here. So he is probably trying to build towards phoenixes, I would assume. Otherwise, why would he go for this many crystals? Chillins don't need that much crystals here, so it would be an interesting play to see from him if he can actually build phoenixes on week 1 still. He's even prioritizing the gold storage. So yeah, this is almost certainly a Phoenix play here coming up from Beasty, who looks like he wants those tier 7s instead of the Chillins. I still think that the Chillins were maybe a really solid play for him, considering he has 2 of the dwellings though. This is not the easiest fight either. There are almost 40 Chanters here. The Galvos Dancers were even a harder fight than this. Yeah, but the Dancers are probably gonna come with some Infiltrators or something, and it's just gonna be 1 or 2 stacks for them. Which means that most of the time, you can probably eliminate them with Heroic Strikes, right? You just kill 1 of the stacks, you hit the other, and then that's it. The Fawns will go first as well. I think it's a pretty easy fight as long as you have those Heroic Strikes available at least. I mean, we see this exact same thing in this fight right now with the Heroic Strikes. That's very easy for him, so. Looks like he has a Battlecraft pickup here that he is actually considering, and he does pick indeed. And yeah, he's just gonna go straight for the Phoenixes. I mean, this will probably lose a lot of his army right now, but he does have the Heroic Strikes, and they will probably be enough for him to do this without too many losses. And yeah, it's day 6, and he is actually considering building the Phoenixes here, and it looks like he will be able to. I mean, he just needs a little bit of wood, I think. This is gonna be a very painful hit if one of the stacks connects with both of the power stacks here in the back. I gotta say, these Heroic Strikes on Goro, especially on Grove here early on, are so good. He just kills 1 of the stacks immediately, does go for a hit, loses 2 rocks here, but that's honestly as best as he can probably do, and he even gets a morale on the Fawns, which means he loses almost nothing, so this Beastie guy is so lucky with the map gen. It's a very strong biome, I gotta agree. I mean, he has a Vori Ruin even, that's really solid actually. And okay, let's look at Kubon, because we've seen Beastie doing fights for the past 10 minutes now. I think Kubon has been feeling a little bit left out here, having to just end turn and wait basically the whole time. Does have 17 Lightweavers, 23 Griffins right now, does find a pretty big abandoned mansion here that he might not want to do just on 2 power stacks and nothing else. And yeah, it looks like he is maybe gonna prioritize this Pandora box, but he is still struggling a little bit in terms of what he can find here, and he could potentially. Wait, did he build a? Oh no, he did not build. He just built the Lightweavers. I thought he would go for the Inquisitors, but he actually chooses to skip them for now. And it looks like he's not gonna go for Inquisitors even on day 7, even though he could potentially double build them here. Meanwhile, Beastyqt is. He found another Phoenix dwelling. That is. That is something. Okay, this is probably one of the best grove biomes you've ever seen. Rock, double Chillin, double Phoenix, that and the Herbomancer actually. This is a really solid biome right now from coming up here. He doesn't have enough gold, but he will be able to pick up the gold here. He did actually build the Phoenixes as well. So Beastie is going to have, I think, almost 10 Phoenixes on 1-2-1 here. And that is an insane power stack, I must say. This might be even a better army than we saw on Black Fire Ice last time. Dirty High Roller. It's a very good biome. In all fairness, he did have the resets, right? Like, he did prepare this kind of stuff. This is exactly the map that he wanted to see from the very beginning, so in terms of that, it was just a very well played game from him. So Might be like, do you need gold? Sure thing. He will need a lot of gold here, I gotta say. This is gonna be, what, around 14k? Probably to try and afford just the phoenixes from next week here, so. He's able to grab his turn town immediately almost as well, which is gonna actually be very good. And looks like he did build the Iriads. He probably is grabbing the laws as well. He has the Scales of War here for later, which is really nice as well. And yeah, he's going for a Grove Palace. That's a pretty risky fight here, to be honest, on the Light Weavers, but he does have those early heroic strikes, and that's all that matters really. So. Meanwhile, my Grove biome, one Hopeless Dwelling only, Phoenix Dwelling guarded by Lich Dragons. I mean, I can understand why you'd think that, but I don't think Lich Dragons can spawn as a guard. I would like to see that happening though. Okay, with the heroic strikes, with the phoenixes, almost every fight here becomes rather trivial for Beasty already, which is absolutely fantastic for him. Does get a few morals on from those light weavers, which I think killed an extra rock here. Not amazing, but looks like he might even consider getting luck, and luck is very, very strong for Grove after all. So let's keep the luck. Went for expert battlecraft and 20,000 gold. Wow, that is a box. It's exactly what he needed. Okay, well, I mean, Beasty has a perfect game. Let's be honest. I think this is an absolutely perfect game for now for him, and he gets some extra crystals here. He has a free level up even from the circus if he wants to. And I think he will probably be able to grab this this town this day, and maybe even make it back for all of the phoenixes. He does have a second wind available still, I believe. So it's an absolutely fantastic spot for him to be in, I gotta say. And he has a lot of gold. He has even more experience here. He's gonna be able to pick up almost all of the army. Maybe even go for the Vori Ruins really, really early on into the game here. So very, very interesting position for Beasty right now, who is definitely very happy to see this happen in a tournament, of course. And looks like we have Kubon here going for the Pandora box that he had himself. This is fairly high value. I would assume 10 or 15k gold as well. If he can do this without too many losses, this will be quite decent for him. I mean, he does have the second Lightweaver build up and the dwelling for the Griffins as well with the laws, so he's gonna have a very strong army. He does have heroic strikes too, which is quite important to note because heroic strikes can deal with the phoenixes pretty easily. So if he can get enough army to survive those first few turns, he might have a chance to actually maybe win this first final fight. And then afterwards, he has a very good solid chance with Temple late game here. So takes a hit with the heroic strikes, grab the Griffins, loses only 2 swordsmen, and let's see what this box will be. It's gonna be very relevant. It's 10,000 experience, not gold here, but 10,000 experience for him can be very good still as well. He chooses to not go for the leadership either. Does have expert offense, and now we'll have probably expert defense as well as combat. So, I mean, Lord Mandel here in a very good spot in terms of level ups too. He has the second Lightweaver dwelling on the animated armors, which should be pretty easy to do, and I think he's probably gonna be able to afford almost everything from both of the towns here actually. So decent stats, decent army, honestly not a bad spot at all from our Temple player either. It's just that Beastyqt is a little bit ahead here in terms of the army. He has 3 phoenixes now. I think he's probably gonna end up the turn in the town where he built the phoenixes, and he's probably gonna try and go for some of this the Chilean dwellings next, because obviously he needs to build the Chileans in order to build the phoenixes to begin with. So having those double dwellings is absolutely fantastic for him going forward. And he also sees the Marea's altar here to the left of the town, so I think that's probably going to be the path that he's going to choose going next year. He's a beast, I guess. He's definitely a beast in terms of what he found in the biome so far. That is absolutely fantastic for him. And yeah, we see Kubon here trying to afford all of his army. He's already down to 8k gold only, but he does get the second wind level up now as well. So let's see if he's gonna be able to make something happen. He's probably gonna try to go to the second town now, pick up all of the rest of these Lightweavers. Yeah, that is a pretty good army, I gotta say. I mean, 43 Lightweavers on 122 here. Honestly, a very, very good power stack. I think he might even want to upgrade them, but he goes for the Swordsman upgrade. Probably thinking that he needs to be safe from some shooters, potentially even in the final fight from Fawns and Naiads here, so. Ruins for resources, could be as well. He does pick a very, very nice Monty Hall here, actually, with a Dragon Piece or potentially the Bone Boots. I think the Bone Boots were maybe the better choice here because he only has 1 spell power right now, but he did go for a lot of might stats early on, so it can definitely work out for him too. Alright, Beasty is going exactly this path that I expected him to take, basically going into this Marea's altar. He finds a black tower here as well that I think he's probably going to skip for now because it does a bit of road. Looks like he's going for this objective a little bit far from the Chillins, but he does have 6 Firebirds, 4 Chillins, and he's going to be able to grab the Dwelling as well, so very, very solid, solid start for him right now. Bone Boots were the better choice. Yeah, I think it's definitely the better choice just because it's one of those late game artifacts that you want to have for the rest of the game. Meanwhile, the Dragon Shield is good to have right now, but it's not really that useful later on, so. Okay, does this fight very easily, loses almost nothing here. I think he skipped his level up. Oh yeah, he skipped his level up, so he's probably trying to find a university first. Why do you call them chillings? Because it's chillin. I was told it's not a quillin, it's a chillin. Apparently quillin is like the Japanese version and we have the Chinese version or something like that, so yes. I love that you guys changed to "you will fight next turn" way more clear. Yeah, a lot of people weren't seeing the messages on the bottom left side there either, and it's a lot clearer now to have it on the top of the screen, and obviously being like a bigger text and everything is a bit better right there, so. Okay, looks like Beastie is doing most of these fights in a very trivial way, I would say so far, and he even has a second wind left. He's gonna be able to grab some of these perma stats here even. 12-9 right now perma stats, and yeah, his game is looking very, very solid, honestly. He has another second wind even. He's not gonna have any mana here for the final fight, but I don't think he minds really. He just wants as much power as possible with these heroic strikes, but I would like for him to pick up a level up here because he is about to fight, and the level up can be quite decent. He does have back to town though, and he does have a mage guild, which means he is actually ready in terms of getting a little bit of mana here available for himself as well, so. Looks like Kubon did pick up all of his units and he broke towards one of his 4th towns here as well. He's gonna try to go for a 6 to 10k experience next, and he's looking for these level ups for astrology too. He does have a pretty decent game so far. I mean, 41 Lightweavers, 40 Griffins. He lost 2 Lightweavers, I believe, in the break, but that's about it. And it's just a heroic strike versus heroic strike specialty right now. And let's see who is going to win here. I do think that Beastie has a little bit better start with the Phoenixes, but those Lightweavers can definitely pack a punch. So, yeah. They do a lot of damage though. I mean, he can haste them and take a hit. And that's a lot of damage, honestly, to begin with. And if he kills most of the Griffins and the Sun's Aegis here, he is probably going to be in a very good spot, but... And better stats. Right now the stats are actually even, because the casting stats don't really matter that much. And it mostly comes down to the might stats, which is 39 to 913. So it's exactly the same. Honestly, both of them are having very solid games. The Temple player is not that bad off here either. And let's see if he's going to be able to do something with these Lightweavers, though. I mean, if he can do enough damage to kill some of the Phoenixes, potentially with the Heroic Strikes to follow up, he might be having enough army here to maybe win, but I think it's a little bit too many rocks, I gotta say. The rocks are actually the problem. 25 of them, if they get to awaken, is gonna survive many turns versus the Heroic Strikes here. And that's not gonna be that great for him. Looks like Beasty is actually saving the haste in order to kill some of the 1-stacks first. And then he's probably gonna get the hit here on the Sun's Aegis and the Lightweavers, basically being able to kill almost everything that he has there. So a second Heroic Strike coming in. He kills 2 of the Phoenixes immediately. And it's not gonna be that much damage coming in from them, actually, even with the Awakening right now. Ooh. Okay, this is a good play by Kubon. He's splitting his units to not get hit by the Phoenix hit here, and that's actually really smart from him, because it means he knows that there's probably a haste coming up, and that's exactly what Beasty wanted to do. But honestly, this haste is not going to be that relevant anymore, because right now he only kills 15 of the Lightweavers. I mean, it's still a lot of Lightweavers. There's still quite a few Griffins here, but down to 4 Phoenixes basically already, and let's gets the ooh, that morale is big though. He's gonna be able to kill a lot of the extra army here. Takes a hit maybe on the archers, or the Sun's Aegis could be really good as well. I mean, we're kind of starting to see Gorel's specialty here coming in clutch as well, because he's doing so much more damage than his opponent with this offense specialty. And yeah, Beastyqt taking the first round here of the Exodus game with the Grove gameplay with the Phoenixes. And he's looking in a very solid spot right now. So let's see if Kubon can find a way to actually make this happen. I would honestly not mind to see him going for these Inquisitors. He has a dwelling as well for them, and he does have a very easy double build with quite a few gold mines and everything picked up, so he has a lot of gold income. And with a dwelling too, if he can get a law for Inquisitors, potentially with a triple build, they could be a very solid power stack coming here from him. But I think he might be a little bit too focused on the Angels, and he could potentially miss out on that. I believe right now he's doing the fight for the 10,000 experience here. Looks like a rather decently easy fight. He only loses to Griffins. Grabs a lot of experience. He goes for recruitment, so he does want to have this tier 1 to tier 4 power stacks. I mean, it's gonna come down to, can he pick up the white tree in time in order to make the second fight happen, to be honest. This will be a pretty easy fight versus the animated armors. This is also a pretty easy box, to be honest. I mean, this is another 10k XP or 10k gold here. Maybe spells. But as long as he does it for free, I guess he doesn't really mind anyway, so Let's see what the box is going to be. This could be quite relevant for Kubon here. And 15,000 gold. Okay, so he has the gold that he needs to potentially grab a little bit more of the build up here towards either Angels or Inquisitors if he chooses to do so. And yeah, he's immediately building a Mage Guild here probably, I would assume. So he wants that triple build at the very least. Meanwhile, Beasty, he looks like he's going for his 5th town right now, so he's a little bit further in progression. He does have the better stats as well, considering he does have more spell power. And he actually sees a really good armor next to the Alvari ruin, which might be one of his next objectives that he's gonna do, I would assume. Still holding on the level up is true, yes. He is trying to get a better level up probably from a university, but I think at this point he needs to just maybe focus on getting resistance there, because it's going to be rather rough for him if he doesn't. He's going to basically play probably 1 or 2 skills down for most of this game by this point, and can be rather rough to have whenever you go into the desert. You want to be as strong as possible going into the desert here from both players, basically. So let's see what Kubon is doing here. He's going for this abandoned mansion that he tried earlier. That was a little bit too strong. He is much better off now, obviously, and considering just taking the auto there. I mean, the losses were fairly mediocre, so he didn't really mind. He's grabbing some of the perma stats on the way, and I guess he's just gonna try to pick up his 5th town as well. So both of the opponents are fairly even in terms of map progression. I think that Beasty basically is maybe half a day or so ahead, just because he pushed towards that 4th town on 1-1 instead of 1-2. So not far behind from Kubon either. It's gonna come down to whoever can maybe get into the desert first to pop the white 3, and I think Beasty's gameplay here is probably gonna be around that entirely, because I think he wants to secure the 2nd win more than anything else in this template right now. Grove does fall off a little bit towards the late game, and Temple will definitely pick up if they can get to Angels and to Inquisitor, so Beasty might get in trouble here if he takes this game too long. He's 1 town ahead. Yes, he is, but the opponent is basically breaking to the same town on almost the same turn here, so it's a little bit of movement left, but not that much. Looks like he's doing this fight rather well. He's gonna lose a couple of the Fawns and the Hoplets here, I guess, but decent for sure. He's still holding. He has a 2nd Murmurmancer dwelling even, and that is getting kind of a crazy amount of dwellings here for him. That is quite a lot of Minotaurs. Definitely not the easiest fight here to do. 71 Dancers as well, so he's probably gonna lose a couple of the units here, but he has very good might stats by now, and I think he's probably fine even if he loses a couple of the Fawns or something. Let's get a nice morale on the Naiads as well. Meanwhile, Kubon is doing a unicorn fight. Looks like it's a rather decent one. I mean, he still has most of the army that he had previously, so I don't think he lost much here at all. Loses a couple of the swordsmen. Does find another Pandora box here. Sadly, does not have a 2nd win available, but yeah, next turn he should be able to pick up this town as well. And it looks like his pick of choice is actually going to be the Angels here. He does not want to play off the Inquisitors, which I think might be a little bit of a mistake from him coming in, because he does have Inquisitor dwellings, and they were also a little bit cheaper than trying to go for a 2nd or 3rd build of the Angels here. Isn't better called similar objectives, both halves of the map, and generating it? I don't think the objectives, the dwellings that on Exodus are even right now. It's a bit RNG there. Looks like Beasty is doing the Vori Ruin right now, and he also picked up the armor, I would assume, as well next to it, so... Yeah, he doesn't lose much in the Vori. He's still picking his... Gets the Reap Scale as well. Does have a Drums of War even. That could be very, very nice for him later on, especially if he upgrades it. And he does have the Alchemical Dust to do so here. And even gets a Truth Seeker, so we could see a very, very nice set coming from Beasty here later on. Full Chillin' Laws as well. Will be able to pick up... Wow, he might actually be able to quadruple build the Chillins, maybe even the Phoenixes here, and that is absolutely amazing. He's counting the days right now, and it is enough. As long as he gets maybe a Research Lab or another Vori Ruins, we could see a quadruple build Phoenix on week 2 with 2 Chillin Dwellings, 2 Phoenix Dwellings on top of that. That could be absolutely fantastic to see. And yeah, at this point, most of the fights that he does is basically free, but I gotta say, these level ups for him are getting quite irritating, probably because he still doesn't find a single university to do here. And he's gonna just have to take the free level up, I think. He doesn't have much of a choice anymore. Meanwhile, Kubon here is gonna go for the Pandora box. Looks like he was a little bit laggy there. He does find another 15k gold, so Kubon is actually extremely rich. I just noticed he has 56,000 gold, quite a few resources, and I think he already built one of the angels, so he's not that far behind in terms of building here. And yeah, he gets Battlecraft as well right now. He does have quite a bit of resources that he can still pick up, but he doesn't really have any movement left this turn, so he's gonna be struggling a little bit in order to try and get all of these build-ups without too much ore and wood right now, actually. Beasty is doing a very, very difficult fight here on 140 Light Weavers, basically, so wonder what this was for. Does have a level 3 optical illusion, but this is gonna be rather painful for him, and I think he does know that. He has 15 defense though. I mean, he should be okay. 14 power. I don't think he should use any mana here, to be honest. I think he probably wants to save the second wind, but he does choose to go for an optical illusion for the Phoenix, trying to kill one of the stacks here early on so he doesn't get maybe hit with yeah, the Light Weavers will go for other stacks because of the optical illusion right now, so that is a pretty good play from him. Insight and skills. Who does have insight? I didn't notice. Ooh, gets a very nice morale. Does end up killing all of the stacks here basically now, and yeah, very well played. Loses a couple of the fun of the Naiads. Oh, you mean the fight? Yeah, it's for a circus here, Infernal Circus, and an insight again. Looks like he did go for tactics, actually. Very interesting pickup. So he wants to be able to make that difference with the Phoenixes and the Chillins on turn 1, trying to get into the archers that the opponent might have as temple here, and that's actually a very interesting play because he will be able to connect with everything as soon as the game starts. Doesn't really have any mana for anything right now, and I think he's struggling a little bit in terms of movement because he didn't stay in the town for a while, so he doesn't have second winds either, and that can be pretty detrimental when you have that second level up for the second winds, and you can do it twice per turn basically. So he does have flight already, so he's ready for the desert, and not only he has flight, but he has upgraded flight immediately almost into the game right now. And he's just looking around to try and farm as much as he can, I guess, already. Looks like he's going mainly for more and more gold right now. Does find a Maria's altar as well. I think he was trying to get to this well, basically. Trying to second wind twice here still, and that can be decent. Picks up the well. We'll get this chilling dwelling, so he is gonna have the full build-up available right now. If he wants to go for this double build for basically everything almost, he even has 2 Herbomancer dwellings actually. Have you seen anyone be able to use the changed 2-point law for temple to double build? Well, we might see it right now actually. I think that Kubon probably has it. But yeah, he's not going for this Inquisitor law. I really think that he had a very, very solid chance to potentially quad build the Inquisitors here with a dwelling and with the law, and I think he's only going for basically a double build of angels, maybe a triple build of angels here. He does have 3, so it makes me think actually, does he have 1 dwelling? I think he might have a dwelling for the angels that I didn't notice either. He's a monastery there. He has quite a bit of knowledge. I mean, he could potentially go into the desert already, but with 3 angels and 41 light weavers only, this is going to be a little bit rough for him to do. He could potentially go for this Monty Hall if he has another second wind available this turn. And looks like a decent amount of army here for him, but he's definitely a little bit behind in the astrology department though, because the opponent already has a second level up in flight, and I think he only has flight available now, basically this turn. Could be a big tempo swing if you have the resources. He has the gold, but he is struggling in resources right now. He basically doesn't have any resources at all really left, so I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to do much more this week, even with that law, to be honest. Looks like we see a triple build of Pyre coming from Beastyqt. He might have the quad build already, actually, and that is absolutely amazing for him. I mean, at the very least, it's going to be a triple build with both Chillins and both birds. Potentially a quad build for the Phoenixes and the Chillins here as well. And I don't know if anything can stop this as long as he's just going to have the gold to pick it up. Right now, the biggest problem for Beastyqt is actually going to be to find enough gold to pick all of this army up. And it looks like he's going for a Utopia, probably for that exact reason right now. This is not going to be an easy fight, though, and it's not going to be an easy Utopia either, but I think he wants this this quad build, even though it might kill a lot of his units, though. I gotta say, with the Heroic Strikes here, with Goral, I think he's probably going to be fine regardless, and he gets a lot of morals on those Phoenixes as well, which is really, really helping him out right now. Might end up losing one of the birds here, though, and that's not going to be that great. Yeah, he does lose one of the birds. A little bit unfortunate. He still does not choose to go for this. He gets bone boots as well. Looks like he will actually skip the Utopia, so he just did that fight mainly for that for the bone boots there. Does pick up more and more stats as well, and where is he gonna go next? I mean, he can just come back for this Utopia later on. He does not need to do it now, as long as he just builds this week. He doesn't need to afford the army right away. He will have a couple of days left until he needs to do that, so. He might end up losing another bird here. Oh, that was close. That was very, very close. He actually went for an Orb of Inhibition again, so we might see the same style being played here in the second game as well from Beastyqt. It looks like he really likes to just play the very, very might-heavy focused without much spells to be involved at all so far. And Beastyqt is also going to be the first one in Desert going into these Maniacal Reavers there right now, so let's see if Kubon can match this tempo. And it looks like he's going for some of the permastats here. His army is looking rather similar still. He does have a Daylight Orb that could be really, really decent for him later on. Finds more permastats and a Circus here himself with a box there too, so. He's looking to upgrade the Light Weavers. Does seem to have the Angels built up in quite a few towns by now, though, so he's gonna have a decent amount of army here as well, but I think it's only a double build for the Angels, actually, and it's not gonna be that many. Meanwhile, Beastyqt is still doing the Maniacal Reavers here. He is gonna be able to do this pretty easily by the looks of it. Does lose one Phoenix here for the break again, and he's not that happy about that, but he is in desert. It is day 7, and he's going to have an insane amount of army coming in here on the next turn, so I think he's quite in quite a decent spot still, even though he had some losses in these past 2 turns right now. Had some losses, but he did gain a lot of income and a lot of map progression, so he's trying to build more markets right now, I think, to maybe triple build the pyre. Yeah, he needs to triple build the pyre, but he doesn't have enough wood or ore, and he's trading the rest of the resources right now. Does get the pyre triple build, and that is very, very solid for him, honestly. So doesn't get to the Phoenix Law, which is a little bit unfortunate, and yeah, he does, I hope, see the university here, because he's been looking for one for a very, very long time. Gets the expert fly, though. That's very, very good, and let's see what he's gonna get here. Siegecraft is no good. Daylight could be a pickup here for him for sure, and he does go for the Daylight Magic, so at least he doesn't have a terrible skill. I mean, he was probably looking for Armorer, sadly, and he does find the defense. Okay, so Beastyqt Curie with almost the perfect skill tree here. The Daylight Magic was probably not the best, but definitely a little bit better for him now with that Armorer pickup. And he finds another Vori Ruin, which is absolutely fantastic for him, because this is exactly what he needs right now. As I said, he needs to be able to afford the army, and as long as he can do that, he's gonna be in a great spot here. I was trying to find Kubon, and I guess he's not even in the top 200, so Beastyqt should have easy win, right? I mean, I don't think Kubon was that low. I think he was like 2.78k rating or so. So he's not maybe in top 200, but he's definitely very close to it. He is definitely very, very close to it. 77 Griffins right now, 5 Angels, and 74 Light Weavers, by the way, with some really, really solid might stats, actually. Kubon is making a comeback here, and that is a very solid army to see on 131 from a Temple player, with a solid skill tree, with a lot of mana here, and looks like he's getting ready for Desert as well, so both of the players are in a fairly decent spot here, I would say. And Kubon, I would honestly say that he has the better army right now, as long as he can upgrade everything. He has recruitment as well. If he can make this second fight happen for himself, I would favor him to potentially win this this third final fight, actually. Tricky rating, can I participate? Well, next time maybe. This one's already ongoing. Fight 1-1 Beastyqt? Yes. It's 1-0 for Beastyqt so far. And Kubon is trying his very best right now to make a comeback. He's looking to break into the desert through his Avatars of War, which is a fairly easy fight, I would say, for him. So let's see if he can make it happen. Meanwhile, Beastyqt is doing some of the fights himself here. Looks like a pretty easy fight. That's a claw as well. And will make it to the town even. So he picked up the Vori Ruin. He will grab the town here in the same turn. That is honestly a very, very solid turn coming from Beastyqt as well. He has very nice might stats now as well. 17, 18, 17 power too. So Grove got a 20k gold box before the final fight. I don't think the gold box was that relevant, honestly. I think the fact that he found 2 Phoenix dwellings and he managed to build them too, that was the power spike. In the first game, who played what? It was Outcast Tournament. Beastyqt Curie was Schism, and Kubon was Necropolis. There's a lot of Naiads here. He's gonna need to be a little bit careful. He does not have a lot of mana left either, but I think he should be rather safe still. Okay, as long as he does not lose a Phoenix or a Chilling here, he's definitely been chilling a little bit, but okay, it's not that close. Very nicely done. He does the fight here for free as well, gets another 20k gold box, and will be able to grab this university as well very, very easily. Getting +2 stats here, and yeah, he's just gonna go back, pick up all of his army now. And I'm expecting to see a really, really solid power spike coming from Beasty because he has so much army to pick up. And he got to the last laws, which means that the Phoenix laws are all of a sudden available for him. And that's going to make those Phoenixes a lot stronger even. So he's looking at potentially upgrading them even. Grabbing some resource depots now, grabbing some banks. I mean, it's a bit late to do these things, I guess, but definitely still a good timing for it. And yeah, that's a bunch of Phoenixes, a bunch of Chillings coming in. 713 right now. He grabs the phones as well. Does end up throwing away the Truth Seeker, so there is no place from him coming for the sets there. Looks like he's just gonna try to pick up as much army as possible. He does have an Arcane Tome in this town as well, which can be quite decent. 20 Chillings, 11 Phoenixes right now. He's starting to get quite a couple of the rocks as well, actually. Look, here is this Beastyqt from StarCraft 2. Yep. This is him. The legend himself. Meanwhile, Kubon is going through the desert as well right now. Finds a Lich Dragon fight here. I'm guessing it's probably for a relic. I don't think this was a research lab, but I could be wrong about that. Does seem to have the Lightweaver still slower, which is a little bit unfortunate. He's gonna get hit once here, but does not lose too many units. And no, this was a research laboratory. Funny enough, he does actually find an Orb of Inhibition too, so we could see both of the opponents even trying to go for this Orb of Inhibition style right now. Looks like he is strong enough to do almost every fight. He does have Expert Bless as well. He does have the archers now as well to deal with everything. So Kubon in a very solid spot too. I think that we're gonna have a close second final fight here. To be honest, I don't really think that they're very far apart right now. Beasty is a little bit better with the dwellings, but Kubon is definitely keeping up with him, and that's very interesting to see. Hey, Yari. Do developers take in mind feedback from top players about stats being irrelevant? Can we maybe expect some major changes in that? They are looking at it right now, and there might be some changes to it, but I don't know when or if they will be major or anything about that yet. So it's gonna be a little bit later down the line, if anything, for that. Okay, Beast is just running around with Expert Fly, basically doing everything in these biomes and trying to pick up all of the units at the same time. Of course, I would like for him to potentially go for this white tree in the desert, though I think that he's skipping it a little bit too long, and he's not going to be able to grab the army in time if he does that. So he could go for Elite Phoenixes, pop the white tree, and then potentially just run from one town to another, trying to get the army growth in 2 towns here, and that would be a really huge power spike for him. Meanwhile, Kubon is looking to do pretty much the exact same thing. He does have recruitment though, and I think he went for relocation as well, which means that he can actually pick up a lot of these towns without physically being in the town itself. And that's going to be a pretty big advantage for him, because now he has the option to potentially push for the desert here. And his army is starting to look better and better. 80 Lightweavers, 86 Griffins, 100 Swordsmen, and 5 Angels coming up here. Meanwhile, Beastyqt is having a lot of units to pick up, I gotta say. He's looking to another town here, and there's another 4 phoenixes, another 7 chillins, so 27 chillins, 15 phoenixes versus 5 angels, and around 100 lightweavers here probably. I think it's still gonna be close. It's gonna come down to whoever can hit first with as many units. But I do think that Grove has an advantage there because they have so much initiative, so... Even though I think the army might be potentially a bit better for Kubon here, I believe that Beastie will have that initiative advantage, and with that he's probably gonna be able to kill most of these lightweavers immediately into the game. And that's gonna be rather difficult to deal with, so... Looks like he's doing another research laboratory right now, and this should be okay. I don't think that's gonna be enough. He early starts the angels. We'll get a hit in here, and he gets hit once on the archers, but that's fine. Loses 2 griffins here, which is alright, and he actually picked up logistics as a level up, which is honestly a bit late. I think at this point you probably want to skip logistics, maybe go for something like battle magic or leadership there instead. So does get the triumvirate passive here, righteousness, everything. And yeah, he's gonna get out. He's gonna probably try to grab some more units from these towns or maybe some upgrades. And let's see if he's gonna be able to make something happen here. Alright, so we have only 2 more days until the final battle actually, so they're gonna fight I think on 133 at the end of the day, right? That means that Beastie has 1 more day to pick up the rest of his army and potentially try to upgrade as much of it as possible, but he only has 19,000 gold. And that's actually kind of difficult for him to be able to afford the upgrade here for the phoenixes at the very least, so he's probably only gonna go for the chillins, I would assume. Kubon is still playing his turn here. He did pick up a little bit more army, 94 light weavers. He upgrades them as well. It looks like he did have 2 more angels in this town. Goes for the griffin upgrade too. I mean, he's as strong as he can possibly be. But I do have to say that his army is still looking a little bit weak. In terms of these high tier units, it's still going to be 15 phoenixes here versus only 7 angels, just because of that dwelling advantage. So I honestly think that he's gonna be mostly fine in terms of what he has, but he needs to get a little bit more might stats here. The might stat difference is actually heavily in favor for Beastyqt right now. So right, we have the final fight coming up here in this turn. So the opponents need to get as strong as possible. They do not have any time left here, and Kubon needs to find some extra might stats right now. I think that's gonna be mostly exactly what he needs. And if he does, I mean, he has a very good army, a pretty decent setup. He did build up the angels mostly as well. He still has the white tree to pop too, so we could potentially see a game 3, a final fight 3 happening here, if he can bring this back. Surprised to see Kubon doesn't take the advantage from the build loss since it costs only 2. I mean, honestly, he has the angels built up in most of the towns. I don't think he even needed that law at all, so it's a little bit of a wasted law, to be fair. And yeah, as Salty said, I think if he has more resources, maybe it can matter, but right now he didn't really have the resources for it either, so. Okay, I'm guessing we're gonna see him going through the portal here. It does look like he does. There are some black dragons, which is gonna be a little bit of losses here probably, but he should be okay. And then on Beastie's side, it looks like he's just going through as many things as possible. He does actually find a tactical guide, which is absolutely amazing for him to find right now, because that means that Kubon is not going to be able to protect any of his units. And he finds a Vori Ruin. Ooh. Can he reach this Vori Ruin right now? And he can exactly reach the Vori Ruin. So we might actually see the Phoenix build-up coming in here, which would be fantastic for Beasty here. Okay, does go for the Chilling upgrade. He is able to pick up the Phoenixes as well. I mean, at the very least, he's going to be able to pick up one just to be able to get this speed advantage, and that's going to be enough for him probably already. It's going to be very expensive, though, to be able to afford all of them, but I think he has so many resources that he doesn't care. And yeah, he's going to go for the flaming ones or the energy ones. I think in this occasion, I would say that the energy ones are probably the better one because they have this much regen that they're going to be really, really annoying to deal with. And he can potentially get the Elite Phoenixes here and potentially the Sanctuary for the lower focus charges. I think is probably the best that he can do. Grabs the Elite Phoenixes too, and now it's basically whoever goes first is probably going to win this final fight. That is a very, very strong army coming from Beasty as well, though, I gotta say. And it's up to Kubon to find something in this desert right now that is gonna make him strong enough to potentially just straight up win the game, but his stats did not really change much, and that's gonna be a bit rough for him. I guess the Elite Angels are probably gonna be the best he can do here, so... Alright, let's see it. Is he gonna be able to bring this back to a 1-1 and make it to a third final fight? Or will Beastyqt take this game too and the series along with it, because he is already up 1-0 here? Is it the legendary Kubon from League? I believe so, yes. Hello, Skarten. Are you still laddering or did you mostly stop playing? I kinda stopped playing right now because I have too many things to do, so... too many things. Way too many things. I might come back though, with a vengeance. Aha. Okay, we see Beasty using the Awakening here. He's gonna go for probably a hit immediately. I mean, there is no tactical... there is tactical guide present, so there was no tactics for Kubon here, which means all of his units are just sitting ducks. He's kind of lucky, to be honest, because the Lightweavers were put in the middle, so if Beasty wants to go for this, he won't be able to do so. He does have Clone here, and GG is called. I mean, he killed all of the Lightweavers turn 1, and Beastyqt actually takes game number 2 here as well, making it a 2-0 and taking this series honestly in a pretty easy matter here with the Grove gameplay. I mean, this was a fantastic biome for him and fantastically played as well. 15 Phoenixes this early on. Honestly, I don't even think that Kubon had a bad game. Kubon had a very, very strong position here as well. 111 Lightweavers, 7 Angels, a lot of Griffins, a lot of Swordsmen as well. Good stats, but the Grove player was just too far ahead, I think, with all of the upgrades already. And the triple build of Phoenixes with both Dwellings, 4 Phoenixes, and the Chillins as well on top of that, so... The Sun Heralds would kill a lot of Phoenix if they get to shoot, but they don't. Tactical Guide OP. In all fairness, I think he didn't really have the units to block there. And there was an Optical Illusion level 4, I think, from Beastyqt as well. So he was fairly well prepared against this, I would say. And yeah, he showed why Grove is so strong, right? I mean, Kubon at the end of the day did have the first pick. He could have went for Grove himself and even played that Helltide if he wanted to, but he chose Exodus, right? He wanted to play whatever Beasty left over, and Beasty with the Grove showed why he's so good with it. So very well played. Honestly, very good stats for the second final fight, and he didn't even pop the white 3. That is very important to note. So he always had a very good advantage for the third game coming in as well. It's not Grove, it's OP Artifact. Yes and no. I mean, he had Tactical Guide, yes, which is OP a bit, but I think that the Phoenixes would still kill whatever is in front of the Lightweavers on turn 1. And then the Chileans with the Awakening as well could very easily kill the Lightweavers. He still has 27 upgraded Chileans here. They were one-shotting the Lightweaver stack regardless. So while it obviously helps to have that tactical guide, I think just by having tactics and being able to reach turn 1 into anything, as well as get the initiative there for that, was already enough for Beasty to probably win this final fight here. As I said, it was just a well-played game from him. He did find the Vori Ruins at the end. He did manage to upgrade all of the artifacts, all of the units as well, right? So it was definitely exactly what he wanted when he wanted it. And yeah, very solid game, very solidly played by both of them. GG's well played to Beastyqt, taking the series, advancing in the tournament. And we only have one series left right now, coming between Zyman and Ronyu. It's going to be on Sunday at, I believe, 1 PM CET. Great series there as well. I can't wait to cast it. And yeah, hope you all enjoyed the series today. We had 2 very nice games here. And congrats to Beasty for advancing in the tournament. Once again, I need to thank the sponsors as well. Thank you so much for Ubisoft for sponsoring the tournament. With the prize pool, we're very grateful, and it's much appreciated. And also to Dark Horse Gaming, and of course Gamebook as well, for sponsoring some extra items for the participants here and the winners that will come later on. Much thanks to media Patreons as CD Action. They've been supporting us for a long time. And much thanks to you all for watching, tuning in, and supporting our development process overall here, as well as at Unfrozen. It's been much appreciated and a great journey to have you all on board. So I hope everyone enjoyed the series. I will see you all on Sunday, I guess, for the last series of this 1 out of 16 bracket. Hopefully we're gonna see a great series there as well. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. Hope you all have a great night, great evening, and see you next time. Bye bye.